So, you've come yet again. Diablo IV updates. Next weekend quickly approaches, my friends. We get to feed our souls on the Diablo IV goodness. Rumors of a new PlayStation 5. Xbox has its fall from grace. Probably some other things. But for now, join us. Sit, my friends. We feast on games. And that's about it. That's all I.
Dude, I was so waiting for it. Tonight we dine in hell. That's what I was waiting. That's what I was waiting for. Tonight we dine in hell.
Tonight, my friends, we dine in hell. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome back to the Just Gaming podcast with me
and me
and me too. Oh man. So let's see here. Where are we starting today is the question. I have been playing a lot of Honkai Star Rail. I keep wanting to say Impact.
You do.
I keep wanting to say
it. It's so weird how they do their games though. It's either like Impact or it's got something in there. So it's all kind of written together.
Yeah, so I've been playing a lot of that. You and I started back on the Division 2, just trying to scratch that Diablo itch in any way, in any shape that we can. I mean, let's be fair. When you're looking at the gameplay loop of the Division 2, it is quite literally Diablo 4 with guns.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 100%. It's got your loot table. It's got your mod, your to where you can try to get better rolls on guns. Yeah, it is a lot like Diablo.
Even technically, Division 2 even has the affix system, where you can pull affixes off of weapons to put on. They stole it from Division. Oh my god. But yeah. So I've been playing that, enjoying that. Guys, let me know how the audio is. We did a little bit of a test before the podcast. I had a couple comments on the last podcast. They said Mark was a little bit too quiet and I'm a little bit too loud, but that's also just a difference in microphones in general and a little bit difficult to balance completely. But yeah, what have you been playing, my friend?
Well, we damaged some Division 2. I have been playing an unhealthy amount of Vampire Survivors. I finally got to the point where don't shake your head.
I just feel like I probably should have never told you to play it.
To where I've got about like 33 some odd characters unlocked. So I just like, I was like, how many more characters are there? So I just pulled up the wiki on it. I'm like, holy crap, I've got a lot to do.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. And then, been playing, I continued to play some Punch Out every day. Which is, I know it's kind of weird, but, yeah, it's been a pretty fun week gaming. That's for sure.
Gamer.
Oh, Destiny 2.
Yeah,
I played some Destiny 2. I ran my dailies, and yeah, that's one of those games, man. And this will tie into what we're going to talk about with Diablo, but it's one of those things where the end game for that is there's not enough to do.
Yeah,
once you're done, you're done.
That's the bad part of making group only content and making it specifically where you have to complete it as a group, right? There's no option to do it single player. I'm sure you could probably maybe solo some of the dungeons, but probably not because of how the puzzles are made. But yeah, that's kind of like going back, like when I made that video about Diablo 4 and wanting group only content. Like I don't mean like I probably shouldn't have said group only. I should have said like special rewards or more complex scaling of difficulty depending on how many people you have in the party. But still giving people a single player advantage to going and doing it by themselves. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about Destiny. Like after we went back and played it for a little while, I got hooked, and then after that was like, I'm fucking good.
Yeah, I mean it's just the game loop is literally Diablo 3, of just running they call it, instead of dungeons, it's strikes. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's just
so
it just wears itself out.
I'll post this to chat as well because I'm actually interested to hear what you guys have been playing lately. Let us know what you guys have been playing to get over your itch for Diablo 4 or whatever other games you guys are looking forward to that are coming out, because we have quite a lot of stuff coming pretty quick. Tears of the Kingdom is next week.
Yes, if you're not a pirate, yes, it comes out next week.
Yep, Tears of the Kingdom next week, and then we have what else? I guess Diablo 4 in May, or at the beginning of June. And then at the end of June, we have Final Fantasy 16. So I'm gonna be pressed to actually play and beat like a lot of games very quickly. I'm on the edge. I don't know whether or not. I think I probably will. I might end up trying to get Tears of the Kingdom and then playing it on stream.
Good luck.
But if I do that, I'm gonna have to do it after I finish Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, I mean, I like as much like we were just talking about where you're getting strike for doing Final Fantasy 17 for the music. Nintendo is going to go after you for Zelda. So
will they really?
Yeah,
for the music and stuff the same.
They go after everybody for everything.
That's
Nintendo,
really cool.
They don't like streamers to stream their games.
Stop advertising our stuff for free.
Yeah, stop saying you like it, okay?
Yeah. Stop advertising our games for free. We'd really appreciate you to stop doing that, please. We don't want to sell any more copies, okay? Please stop. So I guess like segueing into like some of the news and some of the things to talk about, I think the best thing we can probably do is for a lot of the people that come to watch the podcast, I am going to just go ahead and we'll just dive right into the Diablo 4 stuff. Okay?
Yeah.
That way I don't have to have 40 people asking me for timestamps, because that's really all that they're looking for. And I know you don't want to listen to me the whole entire time. I really wish you'd stay longer.
Yeah.
It's just like my dad. So I'm so sorry.
Oh, that hits so close to home.
It does for everybody.
Yeah.
So anyway, so for the Diablo 4 stuff, specifically, like we already know that we have the big Server Slam weekend coming up.
We do.
You know what? Something that actually has been bugging me. I almost want to just like sometimes when we hop on the podcast, I just want to talk shit about people that drop dumb comments.
Hey, let's talk shit about people who dump comments.
Yeah, it's one of the things that like absolutely drives me wild is it like, so my recent video, if you guys haven't watched it, is about how I think that Diablo 4 is going to be a savior to Blizzard in many regards. Not only is it something that's going to improve them financially, which I'm sure they're not really having too much of a problem financially, but it's also something that's going to just improve them in the eyes of the consumer and probably in the eyes of potential employees as well in the future. Yep. It's something
it is a opportunity for a cultural change there.
It's and people don't understand that. Like, oh, well, they're just going to make a bunch of money. Oh, no. It goes beyond that. Like, when you make good products and you make good games, people want to work for you. That's something I brought up in the video specifically. I was like, when companies make really good games, game developers want to work for them because they want to work on those games. They want to make games like that game. This is the same reason why Blizzard was a wildly popular company to go work for back when they were in the throes of the best expansions in World of Warcraft, during the vanilla expansion, during Wrath of the Lich King and all of that stuff. Like, that's when they probably had the most people trying to apply for jobs there because, well, it was the best time to work there. Obviously, it hasn't been the best time to work there for quite a while now, but Diablo 4 is a massive opportunity for that. And one of the things that I commonly see, especially I started seeing in the comment section of the last video, is that like people somehow don't think it's popular. They're like, what are you talking about?
They don't think Diablo's popular?
It's not Diablo. How can you say Diablo 4 is popular? It's not even out yet. How can you say Diablo 4 is popular? I played it and I got bored in the first hour. How can you say Diablo 4 is popular? I played it for 2 hours and I'm never playing it again. And I specifically in the video reference and say, as a YouTuber, I get to look at my analytics. My analytics tell me what you guys all watch. Anybody that's watching this right now, it'll tell me what else other people that watch this podcast or watch my other videos, what other kind of videos are they watching. And it is a massive list of a bunch of different Diablo videos. But then also at the same time, and this is where the key factor comes in, where you realize just like how varied the community actually is becoming because of how popular Diablo 4 is. A lot of these people, a lot of the other videos that they watch have nothing to do with video games. I'm talking about people like looking at construction videos, people looking at baking videos, how to cook, people looking at things that have to do with like child rearing, like how to raise children and stuff like that. So what that means is that there is a large group of people that aren't gamers, aren't people that normally consume a lot of video game related content, that are watching Diablo 4 content. What does that tell you? Well, that tells you that your everyday person, your general populace, not your small communities within Reddit or even in a YouTube channel or your favorite Twitch streamer or anything like that, or your smaller gaming communities, your Discord communities or whatever. No, this is something beyond that. This is the clerk at your local grocery store that hasn't played games in 10 years. People like that are actually getting excited and they want to play Diablo. They're going out and buying consoles. Specifically, somebody even dropped a comment on the last video. He's like, my wife hasn't played video games ever. Yesterday, she went out and she bought an Xbox Series X and a used copy of Diablo 3, and we've been having a blast.
Yeah, I mean, it's bringing people back to gaming. It's bringing people who aren't normally gamers, like you just said, into gaming. This game is going to be, I think it's going to be a success. And for Blizzard, success breeds success, no matter where you're at. Yep. If it starts successful, you can start to build culture right off the bat with that. So yeah, here's like I said, I hope that they continue with the way it's going, and it continues to just be this, foundation, building blocks for them, and they keep it going, because I'm wanting this game. They say it's going to last 10 years. I'm wanting it to be a strong 10 years for this game. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
I'd imagine just about everybody that's going to want to interact with the game do as well. Like, we all love having a game that we can constantly go back to. We always everybody loves having a game where it's like, yeah, I took like a month or two off of it. Nah, man, there's nothing really to play. Well, I guess I'll go back to playing Diablo. You know what I mean? Like, you want to have that consistent game, that game that you can always look forward to playing. And even if it's just for a short while or a season or whatever it might be. And Diablo 4 is shaping up to be that very game right now. It really is shaping up to be something special. And when people are like, well, how do you know that? How can you prove that? And it's like, well, one, because we've already played 2 separate betas for it. And 3, it's also because of all the coverage related to it. This team has been so supportive of Diablo 4, making sure that they are engaging with the community constantly, giving us updates, giving us different ideas that they're having, giving us things for us to like look forward to in regards to the game coming out. And you don't see what other game is doing that right now. Yeah. I'm pressing everybody watching this right now. What other game do you see is really doing that right now? And here's the thing. I haven't seen a game do that and not be successful.
Yeah, I mean,
look at a game like Redfall. Dead silence. Game comes out. Game is garbage. And the reason why I'm drawing that comparison, and we're not going to get into that conversation yet, but the reason why I'm drawing that direct comparison is because they're the same game loop. I mean, it's a looter shooter, but what is a looter shooter? An ARPG. Just a FPS ARPG.
ARB.
Yeah.
Like a lot of development studios kind of put their head in the sand until it's time, to put the game out. I'm trying to think. I can't think of a single company that has been this transparent with everything that they're doing, and the game's been bad. You know what I mean? Generally, it seems like when they are quiet, they usually have something to hide. And it generally shows when they go out there. But that's not always the case. It's just sometimes that happens. I mean, what is it? Next Wednesday, they're doing another developer update.
Oh, dude, I can't wait.
You know what I mean? So it's they're hiring.
Yep. They're being 1,000% transparent. Like, we are going to know basically everything about this game except for the story, and when it comes out. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna know what to expect from leveling. We're gonna know what to expect from the end game loop. We're gonna know what to expect from seasons. All of that. It's all gonna be right there in front of us. So you're gonna know as a consumer whether or not this is a product that you're going to want to interact with. Do you want to buy it? Do you not want to buy it? And if we can use the early access beta as a forecast for what the sales are going to look like for this game, holy shit. Oh man, Bobby's buying 2 yachts.
It's just nice that they're actually using the community for what they should be using them for, as a sounding board.
Absolutely.
Like they're bouncing off ideas, and then you take back to like, okay, yeah, we see where we're kind of messed up here. This is what we're going to do for it, or this is what we're not going to touch this right now. You know what I mean? At least they're addressing, like, even if they're not going to fix something, they just tell you, hey, we're not going to be messing with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like the expectations there, and their and the reasoning behind why they do stuff is there as well. So it's super nice. It's super cool. Diablo.
Yeah.
Diablo.
So I'm really excited for it, man. I'm really excited. I'm super confident in it. Obviously, I wouldn't put out a video like the last one if I wasn't really confident in it. I wouldn't tag myself to it like that. But yeah, Bart, yes, I do have your personal information, by the way. I know what you did last summer.
He's got your IP address.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah, sorry.
NSA.
Yeah. So anyway, so far as the seasons, right? So we know next week they're going to be coming out. They're going to do their developer update where they're going to be talking about seasonal content and what we're supposed to be expecting from seasonal content. So this is the discussion that we're going to start off with at the moment. Chat, this is your opportunity to hop in there and give us some ideas or things that you guys think or you're hoping to see from seasonal content. But that is the discussion that we're going to have right now.
Yes.
So what is something you specifically think is going to be coming from seasonal content?
Based off what they've said before this this update that they're doing, okay, this live that they're doing, they said that they were going to be adding or changing skills in seasons. If they do that, and that's going through the Paragon board, you know what I mean, like the rare and legendary affixes that you can put on stuff. If they can add stuff in there seasonally that makes each class interesting, that will keep that game loop going pretty strong. I mean, because you're going to be able to build stuff, but then to balance against that, they're going to have some sort of activity for you to use those new skills against. Those new skills against. You know what I mean? So if they're going to give you there needs to be like, okay, great, you gave me new skills, but then I'm just going to go do the old dungeons with these new skills. What's the new activity that I get to go do with this new build?
So the things that I foresee specifically is I definitely see them adding more actual PvE content, right? I think there will be seasonal dungeons. It does sound like they're going to be rotating, so they're kind of giving them the benefit for that, right? Where it's like season to season, you're not going to be running the same dungeons. So like even like you said, like, well, I'm going to be just using them in the same dungeons. Well, like technically, there's only going to be 30 what are they called? Nightmare dungeons
available. Yeah.
So there's only going to be 30 nightmare dungeons available at a time, and those are going to rotate amongst the 120 that are in the game at launch.
Yep.
I would imagine there's probably going to be dungeons that they're going to add as well, and they'll probably expand to the continent, I'd imagine. But that will probably come from like actual further expansions. I do not see them adding land through seasons. They could.
They could.
Would be cool. But I don't think they'll do that.
Be great if you did.
It'd be great if you did. I would appreciate it, but I don't think that's the way that they're going to go. I think that is something that they will classify as premium content. That is something that they're probably going to hold for future expansions. If they're smart, they probably already are working on the next expansion already, which will probably take after the first year.
Well, narratively, I imagine that all their expansions, or at least the next one's already written because it's going to be a continuation, right? So
yeah.
I imagine it's already written, so they probably just need to, do the coding work on it.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of their inspiration for seasonal content, just judging from the rest of the game as it stands, it looks like a lot of the inspiration is going to end up coming from Path of Exile. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
No,
it just depends on if they're better than Path of Exile at removing or how you integrate that legacy content. Because like in Path of Exile, they hold on to all of those modes or all of those past seasonal contents. So like the different oh man, what are they called? Like, you'll be walking through Path of Exile, you'll see a bunch of frozen statues, you can go interact with it, it summons a bunch of monsters, and you get some drops because of it. They don't keep all of them, and I think it seems like they kind of keep that stuff on a rotation. So I'm hoping to expect that from Diablo 4. I don't want them to just yeet that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Hey, Ryan, welcome.
Yeah. Well, I want them to. Here's what I want. I want them to keep what works and get rid of what didn't. You know what I mean? And learn from what didn't. A lot like okay, let's say with Diablo 3 with this last expansion, had they come out with that beforehand and kept that type of mechanic in the game, where you could go and do the weird level up deals that you could do with it, it probably would have made seasons for that game interesting throughout the whole deal. You know what I mean? It just would have made it a lot
and here's
more
the thing: they could have just kept that board and then change it.
Yeah, change what those affixes are. Yeah.
Yeah, they honestly could have just kept the board and then just changed the affixes on the board as time went on. So I'm really interested to see what they do with that kind of stuff. I do like the idea of specifically what you just brought up, which is oh man, what the hell was it? Like making sure that there's continuing the transparency that they already have, like how well they've really been in contact with the community, and with that, judging what content should stay from a season and what content should go. Because, for instance, just as an example, they could go, oh man, people are really loving the new abilities that we put into the game. We're going to keep those abilities. Those are now permanent. You don't have to get rid of them. You can choose them, regardless of whether it's a fresh character or whatever you're going to do. You can still earn those. It's just going to become a permanent feature of the game. Just as similarly as maybe there's like an optional dungeon that they add in a future game. Maybe like I don't know, that idea that I had for like the Treasure Goblin dungeon or something like that. Maybe they add something like that as a seasonal thing. They realize that the community really likes it. They really enjoy interacting with that mechanic. Okay, well, we'll just keep it, and it'll just be something that continues on with the game. Raids, exactly, things like that. Like any group-related content, I would like to see them do some type of like seasonal group stuff. I think that would be kind of cool as well.
That would be cool.
I know. Like, there's been pushback on that kind of discussion, but at the same time, like, I mean, especially content creators would probably love that kind of stuff because it's a really good opportunity to collab with other people for some really interesting stuff.
And I think there'll be like seasonal world bosses. You know what I mean? I know they're gonna do stuff like that. I mean, do you remember when we first started playing? Actually, not when we first started. First started playing Dying Light on PC, the first one, and when we downloaded it. We were going around and we were just kicking zombies and they were flying everywhere. And we were like, what the heck? This is crazy. And then it comes to find out that it was the developer had put it in just for like, the weekend. It was like an event. Yeah. They should have just kept it in because it made the game really, really fun. But, we went back to play it and it just wasn't near as fun. So like keeping that content in is like an option. Like I'm hoping that they really, really stick to it.
No, we haven't got to the PS5 discussion yet. We're Diablo 4 currently. So I'm trying to think what else there was. I had a couple other ideas for future content that I could think that they would end up putting in seasons, and you kind of brought it up already, where you said something about like rotational world bosses and things like that. What I really want to see them do is I really want to see them have us go back through story related content for a reason. Something that Diablo 3, in my opinion, and I'll probably get shot out of the air by many people.
You're dumb.
Yeah, I know. I have terrible opinions, but I actually really liked Diablo 3 at launch for a while because it was actually fun to like farm the bosses. Yeah. Like the story bosses. And some of those fights are really cool and they're really epic and the music's awesome and the ambiance and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm hoping that they're going to, in one of the seasons at one point, like provide more value to like killing some of the story bosses again. I think that would be really cool. Like making them uber bosses.
Yeah. Do you want like a boss rush mode to where you just go in and like...
I don't know. I don't know if I would necessarily... boss rush mode would be kind of cool. I think that would also be a really good seasonal idea. Make like a boss rush dungeon or something like that. Yeah. Similar to what is Lost Ark? Lost Ark has that. Lost Ark has a dungeon or something that you can engage with specifically that actually has a boss rush mode where it's just boss. I think you fight like 5 or 6 or something like that at a time. Something like that would be really cool. I would like something like that. There's a lot of different things they could do with it, but I like the idea of them just like supercharging a boss, and then you got to go fight that boss. You know, you can fight it like once a week or something like that.
Yeah, like giving them like 5 shields like they do in other ARPGs, where you have to just keep melting them down, just keep going.
No, not like that. I mean, like actually making them more powerful, adding other mechanics, something to switch up the pace, something like that. I think it would be really cool.
A wipe mechanic would be kind of cool. Would be kind of cool on
a what?
Like an Uber boss. A wipe mechanic would be kind of cool.
Oh, okay. Like, yeah, like you need to do this right or you die.
Yep.
Yeah. I like stuff like that too. Even like, man, sometimes I wish I was like on these teams just so I could like pour out some ideas. But like, man, would it be like really cool if like for a seasonal thing, like you had to go kill X amount of bosses. When you kill those bosses, you get like certain pieces to be able to like summon an Uber boss, and you could do it like, you know, a couple times a week or something like that, or whatever it was. And like that was part of the seasonal mechanic, kind of something similar to in Diablo 3 when you had to collect like Wirt's leg and all the other parts to make the cow staff.
Yes, yeah.
Like that would be kind of cool. I would like something like that.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Or like you beat all the bosses, and then it makes some like Frankenstein boss that uses all of their mechanics.
Oh, that would actually be sick.
That'd be kind of dope.
Like making a primeval.
Yeah, like you're making one and it uses all of their mechanics.
Yeah, that would actually be kind of cool. Like you get like specific drops from each boss, and then you could even like hunt down specific ones that you wanted to get like special modifiers for specific equipment that you want or something like that. You know, it'd be like, you know, the boss drops AoEs or poison AoEs constantly, and as a result, you'll automatically get a chest that will drop, you know, unique legs or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, okay, well, I want this one because I mean, obviously, this is all theoretical, but yeah, that'd be cool.
I think we need to write Blizzard right now. That is a really good idea.
Hey, I heard you guys are listening to everything that we say. And I think you really need to listen to everything that I say specifically and nobody else.
Specifically.
Tree of Whispers will probably have quests to kill certain story bosses. That's actually true. You're probably right about that. I'm really hoping that they really leverage into that and lean into that kind of content when the game is fully released. I just want really creative. I want really fun content for seasons.
And what I don't want is seasons to be the same game that you're having and they just add new cosmetics to get. You know what I mean? That's what I don't want. That's the laziest option that any developer can do.
Here's the thing. I actually saw somebody talking about this before, and I was like, that's not going to happen. And then they said, why? And I said, because I said so.
Yeah.
No, I said no. The reason why I said no is because I doubt that they would be doing a developer update specifically on seasonal content, and that's all they have to say.
Yep.
Hey guys, you're gonna be able to do the same thing every single season, but it's gonna be new cosmetics. All right, dev update.
See you in 15 days.
Yeah, give me that $70.
And so the first season starts 2 weeks after the initial launch? Is it 2 weeks? I think it is 2 weeks after the initial launch. So giving everybody, or is it a week? I think you have a week or 2 weeks to get to wherever you're going to get to in the game, and then the season's going to start. And they said that leveling up is going to be a lot slower. So like you're getting from 90 to 100 is probably going to take you twice as long as it took you to get to 90.
Yeah.
So this isn't like a race to get to max level like it is in all the other Diablos. It's play the game and rock it out and then venture the world.
Well, I mean, we already saw, and this is one of the things that I specifically well, everybody's already kind of saying it to begin with, but both Ryan and Dan and Chad just brought it up, which is the idea that they're not going to phone this in. And actually, the best proof of that is the fact that you're going to be able to level skip on seasonal content. Right? That was one of the things that they immediately announced. They said, hey, by the way, you're going to be able to take your last season character and use them for the next season. You don't have to go through the level 1 to 100 loop every single time. You can just engage with that new seasonal content with that last character.
Yeah, and you're not gonna have to redo all the little statues and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So there's a lot of that content that they're gonna keep. So I'm really interested to see how that's all gonna turn out and what their vision for that is, because that's a really unique vision in comparison to games like it.
Yeah.
So because obviously they have this in the mind of, we want people to engage with the game for a long time, but we also don't want to waste their time.
Yep.
Which is a really smart thing, and that's also really odd because that's not normally something Blizzard does.
No, and when you're going in and like I don't want it to be like a heavy like dailies type thing to do. You know what I mean? Because it just causes fatigue. It just does. I'm hoping that they do have, like, for me personally, I think the game's good by itself, like a single player. I think the game shines at its brightest in a group setting. It makes it more difficult. There's more enemies. So I'm hoping that they do add a lot of cool co-op experiences for the game.
Here's the thing. I think they absolutely will. It's just going to be a matter of time. I think at first they're probably going to try to do the best they can to appeal to single player audiences, because people are buying it as a single player game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're buying it as a single player game that has like some functionality with multiplayer as well, right? But
yeah.
Which
is weird if you remember the advertising, the television commercial advertisements for Diablo 3. It was the co-op part of it, because they'd have, it was live action and they'd have people dressed up as the different characters, playing that together, which is so. I don't know. We'll see. It's a big world. It's a big lonely world. Need a buddy. Need a friend, especially if you're gonna be doing any PvP, because you'll get ganked.
Especially if you're playing hardcore. At least have somebody there as a meat shield. Sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be me. That'll be, hey Mark, let's go do this real quick. The second you die, I'm just like, I'm out.
Yeah. Hey, go grab that over there to see what happens.
Hey, there's some shards over there. Go pick those up real quick. Are you sure you don't want them? Yeah, no, I'm sure. I'm sure I don't want them. Let's check. Let's check in. Let's see what chat is talking about. We have the Shape says, if people don't hit max level before season 1 starts, then how do we get to max level? Because we will constantly be playing seasons, so we'll start at level 1 every few months. I don't think that, from what I understand from one of the last developer updates where they were discussing levels, from what I understand, there is no you have to start at level 1. You can transfer characters or use characters that are already max level to take part in current season stuff. There's a difference between seasonal play and seasonal ladder play. Like, if you're going to do ladder play, that's a different story, right? That's you actually trying to rush to who can get to level 100 first. But that's not really going to be the case from what I understand with just general season play, because we're still going to have full access to all of the seasonal mechanics, even on our main characters that are not on seasonal servers. So seasonal servers are for ladder chasing, if you're trying to do the 1 to 100 grind for the seasonal ladder. But if you just want to play as your main character on your static, the static server, I forgot what they called it, like your legacy characters or whatever, you can still play those characters in Diablo 4 and still participate in all of the seasonal content as well, which is incredibly smart. Because not only are you making the ladder chasers happy, the people that have always loved playing ladder play, but you're also making the people that have no interest in that happy as well, because they still get to enjoy the seasonal content just the same. That is so smart. That is so damn smart. So damn smart. I love that. I love that for them. I love that for me, honestly.
Yeah, no, for real. That was it's. How many times did we play starting at level 1 for seasons for Diablo 3? You know what I mean? Eventually, I mean, I can't tell you how many times me and Ian personally have beaten Diablo 3 because we had to go all the way through the whole campaign to do it. I mean, obviously you can just go right into adventure mode and do it, but you're still starting from 1. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, obviously the current season kind of changed that, but makes it a little bit different. And what else do we have? We should get the option to solo or auto group when starting a dungeon. That also would be really cool. I would like to see matchmaking. Because I from when we played, doing group dungeons was actually a lot of fun. Will this KFC thing work in the EU and not just in the US?
Is he talking about Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Yes. Yeah, they're doing another sandwich thing.
Oh, like the double down?
Yeah, like the double down. I forgot. I didn't actually look at it. I'm going to do that right now. I remember seeing it and I like glanced over it and didn't think of anything anything about it at the time, to be honest with you. I'm going to look at that right now. Diablo 4. I'm just going to look up Diablo 4 chicken sandwich and see if anything comes up. I'm going to say probably, maybe. News. No, March. So there's another.
Brisket. Keep it clean, buddy.
KFC. I'm not seeing any direct information about this yet. I glanced over it earlier and I don't remember where I saw it. Can you be kind of specific with what you had seen? It's on Wowhead. Thank you.
Autobot. What Ian was saying was that you can start a new character for seasonal, but they're saying that you don't have to. Like it's separating the ladder and just the casual. You can use your legacy character to play the seasonal content and not be in the whole ladder part of it.
Upcoming KFC promotion includes Diablo 4 in-game rewards. We doubling down on the double down. A post on the Diablo 4 subreddit leaked yet another promotion between KFC and the Diablo franchise. Beginning on May 29th, so at the end of next month, Diablo fans will have the opportunity to win 5 distinct in-game rewards making purchases at KFC or through the KFC app, according to the leak.
Y'all are gonna get fat like us Americans.
While nothing is yet known about the rewards that we're gonna get, we just know that they're in-game assets. So what it sounds like is you have to make purchases through the app to be able to get the rewards. There is nothing so far as on Wowhead talking about whether or not this is going to be offered in. Let me look at this. These screenshots here. Diablo 4 partnership. Oh, this is somebody that's straight up. They got this. Yeah, they got this. This is guys. This is insider information. Insider information.
To Jackie's point, this is the double down to look like Asmodan. That's what this is.
That's right. Asmodam.
Asthma thick.
Digital offer does not apply to 30 piece. Okay, so apparently it's not just for the double down. It's for a bunch of different things. Yeah, I'm not seeing whether or not this is going to be for anywhere else other than the US, but it also doesn't actually specifically mention the US either. So I think we'll kind of see. We're gonna cross that bridge when it comes. To be honest, I think did they block it off for the last one? Do you guys know? Did they make it where you could? I was pretty sure that you could get the double down promotion anywhere, because I saw they had posters for Japan and a few other places.
I know in some parts of the country in the South they have a triple down. So
that was not an answer to my question.
I'm just saying.
That's actually Korea, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so we'll kind of monitor that. I'm really interested to see what kind of rewards they end up giving us for eating yummy. Well, that's because Canada hates happiness.
Yeah, they do. they do.
Yeah, it's not in Canada because Canada hates happiness. No, so we'll kind of cross that bridge when it comes. Let's see here. I was curious about ladder info too, wondering if it's going to be like Mythic Plus or Time Dungeons again. I'm not really too sure exactly what they're going to be doing with that. Like the only thing that I know currently about ladder play specifically is that basically you're going to have fresh seasonal starts, and then you're also going to have your legacy character on the other side of the server. So like one character, like all your characters, no matter what start they're on or what side of the server they're on, are going to be able to engage in seasonal play, seasonal mechanics and all that stuff. But you're not going to have anything so far as like being locked out of that kind of content, which is really good.
Which is super, like you said, it's super super smart. It doesn't segregate your audience, which is nice.
Let's see here. There was something else I missed. Somebody else had asked a really good question, and I kind of glanced over it because I was looking up that other information. So how does that work for the battle pass, both paid and free? I assume nothing in the battle pass progression is tied to the story progression. Then characters do not need to be fresh. No, they don't. So I would imagine that because I mean I think people typically think with these battle passes that it's kind of attached to like your personal level, but that's not what it's going to be in the case of Diablo 4. What it's going to be, it's probably going to be connected to other activities in the game. So they'll probably give us challenges for us to accomplish, and then it'll just keep track of those, kind of almost like achievements.
Well, you'll have here's how it'll work. It'll work like in almost any other game that has this. You'll have your personal XP and you'll have your seasonal XP. So whenever you do any kind of activity, you're going to get XP for both. And so it's different. So like if you were a max level character, you're still going to earn seasonal XP when you do an activity.
The advantage to starting a fresh character for a season is to do the ladders. So there's going to be two different characters that you can make, and it's kind of similar to their approach in Diablo 3, which is you could just make a regular story character, which still has access to all of the to the entire game, right? But then you're going to be able to start a seasonal character, and seasonal characters can do the ladder chase. But what is a ladder? It's something that you climb.
Yeah, it's one foot after the other.
Mm-hmm. Usually, you can get them in like 3 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot. Yep.
We got step ladders. We got climbing ladders. We got going up against the house ladders.
Pool ladders. I'm kidding. Anyway, so ladders specifically is a leaderboard. So they have Diablo historically has always had a leaderboard for like first to level 100, first to clear. For Diablo 3 is like first to clear Greater Rift 100, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So that's what they're gonna end up having for that. So it's for the people that like to do that kind of thing. It's for the people with a lot of time on their hands. You know what I mean? Because I mean, like people that are going to be chasing the ladder, or people that are not going to be like, I'm going to play for 2 hours today, and then I got to work tomorrow, and then I'm taking the girlfriend out to dinner, and then I'll play for like about an hour after that. Like you're not going to ladder chase, but like, ladder chase is for sweats.
Yeah, it's for the extremely hardcore.
Yeah, for the extremely hardcore. Yeah. I'm interested to see exactly how all the seasonal play stuff washes out in time. We'll see pretty quickly soon here. It's going to be this week, right?
Yes, it's going to be Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that would be noon Central and 1 o'clock Eastern.
Be 2 Central. It'd be 1 Central. I'm sorry.
1 Central. Okay, 1 Central.
1 Central, 3 Eastern. Or 2 Eastern. Golly,
2 Eastern.
My brain is... Dude, I took a nap right before we started. I'm sorry, guys.
I know.
I got to work nights this week.
The minute you said that, I was like, oh, shit, here we go.
Math is hard.
Yeah, math is hard. I saw somebody had a Dark Templar picture float around. Did you get to see that at all?
I did not.
It was on the Reddit. I was scoping out the Diablo 4 Reddit like I usually do. And also checking out some anime memes. And somebody had posted also actually something else that I saw. Somebody fucked up and they early
they shipped the collector's editions early.
Yeah, there's people that already have Diablo 4. They already have it at their house.
Yeah.
Monsters.
Complete
absolute monsters. I can't find it. I don't know where it is. But anyway, somebody had made like some Dark Templar looking character. It was some concept art for a new class that could come into the game at one point in time. People got really thirsty about it. They're like, man, I really want a Dark Templar. And then obviously as a result, everybody got back into the conversation of wanting other classes to be in Diablo 4.
Yep.
And also the idea of just like in general of like when classes are going to be added to the game. And one of the discussions of that, I think ended up in a tweet, and the developers did say there are plans for future heroes.
Yeah.
I didn't confirm anything else about it. They just said yes, there will be other classes in Diablo 4.
I was thinking about it probably like 2 days ago, and since Nephilim are angel and demon mix, right? Of why? Like, I think it would be super cool if we got a character of each individual. You know what I mean? Like a playable demon or a playable angel. I think that would be like super cool. I know it's kind of weird, but I think it'd be super cool.
Oh, like to play as like an actual archangel or something like that. Yeah. I think that would be pretty interesting. It's just, but the game has always been the story of the Nephilim themselves.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Been.
So like, it's about mankind's struggle between being torn between heaven and hell, right? Because they both want to reign over us. So it'd be kind of odd to have like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. At one point, there were angels and demons that did not want to participate in that tearing between, and that's the result of the born.
They're taking their pitchforks and going home.
Yeah,
they're not doing this.
Let's see here. One of the other things that I actually kind of want to do is like talk about some of the other discussions that I'm seeing in the community. One thing people are bringing up is, will you focus on one character when you guys start playing Diablo 4, or are you guys going to play multiple characters?
I'm going to be playing. I'm playing multiple characters, but when it starts, I'm going to. I'm going to have a character that I play by myself. I'm going to have a character that I play with Ian, and I'm going to have a character that we probably play with our buddies in the community when we do that. So, yeah, I plan on doing multiple characters. I probably will not do multiple of the same character like I did in Diablo 3. I'm not going to have like 3 necromancers and 2 barbs or anything like that.
Misinformation. It's gonna have multiple druids. One's my bear.
Yeah, one's a wolfie.
One's a wolf.
This one turns into a unicorn.
So I plan on, what do I plan on doing? I plan on playing rogue immediately. That's gonna be the first one I do. And then I'm going to branch out from there. I think I will have one that I play with my friends. I think I will have probably one that I play by myself. Like when I say by myself, I mean like probably even like off stream. And then I might have like a stream character, like a hardcore character or something at one point.
Yeah, I'm not jumping in that pool.
Let's see. Tom got him.
Yeah, no, he's a griefer, dude. I ain't doing it. Like, here's the thing. They haven't come out and outright said if the hardcore characters and the non-hardcore characters are on separate servers.
Tom just murdered you, dude. Tom with the super chat says, "Will you get 2 hardcore players killed?"
Actually, it would be the 3rd. So thank you. No, like so they haven't said if they're going to separate the servers. I imagine that they would, but they're still going to be able to grief, because if you can like dart through and just drag like a mob over to somebody, you could ruin someone's day. So we'll see how that works.
I saw that happen to Asmongold. Did any of you guys see that? He tried playing World of Warcraft hardcore for the first time, and he had like 7 or 8 people just following him around. Or more, it was probably more than that, honestly. I wasn't like fully paying attention. I was playing something else while I was watching his stream. And he was getting griefed. He had all these players that were just like walking around, following him the entire time. And he's like, and the thing is, he's even being like polite about it. He's like, guys, I really just want to play the game alone. If you guys could just leave me alone. Guys, if you could just leave me alone. And then finally one of them got him killed. And he was like, well, I guess that's it. And then, the folks in chat are bringing it up. They all got permabanned as a result. It's funny. You're self-reporting. You're literally on camera with your name above your head. There is no like, that wasn't me.
Yep, wasn't me.
Was
a bot.
I don't know what that is. They had the same name as me on the same server. So I definitely do plan on doing a hardcore character, though. I know somebody was bringing that up, but yeah, no, for sure. Like, I plan on doing a hardcore character because I had a lot of fun the last couple times I did it on on Diablo
nice.
3. So it's going to be interesting to try it in Diablo 4, especially because I genuinely do feel like Diablo 4's difficulty, just general difficulty, is more difficult.
Yeah, well, it's significantly harder because it's like your hits have to hit. I don't know. It doesn't like Diablo 3. It just felt like I just pointed and stuff died, and that's when I feel like I literally have to aim where I'm going, and then your mobility is a lot lessened than it was in Diablo 3. So,
well, I feel like it's much more methodical play, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to be much more, like purposeful with your attacks. Like really pay attention to like what you're casting, where you're casting it. This isn't like Diablo 3 where like honestly you could just kind of like spit all over the room and eventually you'll hit something, right?
Yep.
Let's see here. Comments regarding the server slam battle pass monetization. So basically every single thing. Oh, they're collecting a bunch of questions for the developers. That's really cool. Let's see if I'm trying to see if there's anything else. It's going to be really
no, Kyle. They said that your hardcore character when he dies, they die. When he dies, if he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
So your hardcore character's biffed.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I imagine your seasonal character will be like it has been in other games where it can transfer over. Like if you start a seasonal from one.
I'm a purist. So when it comes to like hardcore, yeah, if you're getting into that, like that should be the whole point, right? The whole point of playing it should be risk it for everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's the thrill of the fight. I feel like it would take a lot of meaning out of it, and like, what's the likelihood you would continue to play that character on normal?
No.
You know what I mean? Like chances are you're never gonna play it. I guess it'd be like nice to still have it, but yeah.
What's up, Mickey? Yeah, I mean you nailed it on the head. It is what it is. Hardcore means hardcore. Like there has to be some sort of punishment for dying. You know what I mean? So
yeah, well, I mean, like going back to normal is definitely a punishment in itself. But yeah, so.
Now, no, actually, you know what? That's even a worse because now you have to delete the character instead of them. So they just move your character to normal, and then it makes you forcefully delete your own character because you're not going to play it in normal.
Oh my god. Oh man. I genuinely love the Diablo 4 and Diablo subreddits because they are equally like the most like positive and negative place about Diablo 4. It is always one or the other. It is never anything in between or anything like that. It's so funny. For the most part, everybody seems decently positive about it. You have some loud minority voices, but for the most part, people are pretty excited. Pretty excited. So, anything else regarding Diablo 4 that we want to talk about? Do you guys in the chat have anything that you would like to hear us talk about regarding Diablo 4? Oh yeah, a bunch of people are getting all their stuff. I'm seeing pictures of it pop up all over the place. People getting a lot of their collector's edition content, the stuff that doesn't have the game.
Yep.
Their statues and stuff.
Yeah, those statues are dope. I'm still on the fence. I'm really debating on getting that Baldur's Gate 3 statue because it looks so sick. It's just a cool looking statue.
Oh, this dude had I'll show it to chat real quick. Somebody made a resin statue.
Oh, dude, that's dope.
Isn't that sick?
That's pretty cool.
I want it. Life-sized. For reasons.
For reasons?
For reasons. But
yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. I asked this question earlier, but I'm still really interested for a lot of people, guys. What else are you guys playing until Diablo 4 comes out? Because I need more suggestions other than what I'm doing right now. Because I feel like playing a gacha game is dangerous.
Yep. Well, we got the Division 2 to dive into.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Diablo with guns is always a good path. I felt like there was something else specific I wanted to bring up about Diablo 4, and now I don't remember it. And you and I talked about it before we started the podcast.
The AI art.
Oh, it is the AI art. That's
You're
a
welcome.
really good point. Thank you for remembering that. Look at you.
Yeah.
You're so cute.
Thanks.
Here it is. I I want to say we'll bring it up from. So this is a Yahoo News article that was talked about a little bit, and one of the stories is kind of popping around right now. Mike Ybarra actually answered to this, and he answered to it on Twitter, and he says Blizzard will always strive to maintain Blizzard quality. You're trying to associate recent AI advances, generic AI, with something completely unrelated. So basically, you have some folks that are out there from Gamer Rant. By the way, I'm just gonna say it right now. That is not a like a reputable organization. Those are fan-made articles. Okay. Yep. That is not news. That is fan-made. That is fan-made articles. That's all it is. From what I understand, I don't think any of those people are paid. I don't even know how that even works, to be honest with you. But
they probably get click revenue,
something like that, maybe. Yeah. So anyway, and that's where this is coming
Freelance.
from. This was something that was so. It is real that they are using AI tools, but they've been using AI tools for years, and people would and something that a lot of people don't understand, which is, and this blows my mind. If any of you guys have watched any of the content for Unreal Engine 5, you see all of the AI tools that they use and exactly how they implement them in games. For instance, nobody wants to digitally hand draw an entire world. Trees, individual trees, and we don't want them copy pasted. We don't want to see the same tree all over the place. However, we can't expect them to have a 3 or 5 year development timeline and also hand draw and hand place every fucking tree in the game. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of these AI tools are there for, to be able to create variety in environments. They're not using this stuff for character models. They might use it for specific aspects of character models, maybe like hair generation, shadow placement, stuff like that, to be able to manipulate those kind of things. But the problem is that because so many people today have access to AI tools, they are completely reflecting that against what they think video game companies are going to do. So they think video game companies are going to put artists out of business because they're going to go to AI instead. But that's not how it works. That's not how it works, because AI is not creative. People are. Yeah.
Well, they can't. Where do you think the AI is getting their source from?
Yeah. And actually, something that you notice too, the longer, if any of you guys have ever used any image AI, which I use it all the time, right? But when you're using image AI, it all ends up kind of looking the same, because the art tool is constantly pulling from the same database.
Same pool of information.
Same pool of information and inspiration, as you would call it.
Here's my problem with this whole story. If you read this guy's first sentence in his tweet that he tweeted out, my artist colleagues deserve better. Because what? A company's using AI learning to help develop their game? It has nothing to do with AI art or this or that. It's AI learning to develop the game. It's not like someone's still like, that'd be like saying, okay, well, in Unreal Engine 5, I can literally use my phone. I can take a picture and they can put it in the game. Well, now I just, I stole from that person who made that furniture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if I go outside, here's a mountain. I took a picture of the mountain and then I use the AI to put it into the game and place it right. That it's, you just got rid of some. You just made their process that much quicker. There still has to be an artist eye on it to see if it's perfect where it should be. You know what I mean? That's it's just silly.
Yeah. So they actually bring it up right here. They say, is Blizzard using AI art in its games? Hearthstone design manager Brandon Sewell would like to clarify that AI is being used, what AI is being used for, while criticizing the article for not linking the actual patent by Blizzard. So they didn't even actually link the actual patent. They just kind of made this story and then just ran it as it was. And it says, as the patent shows, it's using AI to apply a style of an image and create variant textures rather than creating an image itself. All it's using is just for texture. It's not using anything else. This is quite different than AI art that we're seeing people are using prompts, which is the main concern that people have over this. I suspect a lot of this would be cleared up as the patent of the article hadn't been linked. This isn't AI art, said Sequel. The ethics and considerations are about the same as the ethics for using a Photoshop filter. So yeah. So and he actually retweeted at it. He says, "I know you're mad about it. I'm mad too. And this ain't it. Don't fall for the clickbait article." Yeah.
Yep. This ain't it, homie. And that's what a lot of like Kotaku's, a lot of
Gamer Rant, and Kotaku specifically are clickbait.
Yep. They are.
And this is the reason why a lot of developers and publishers won't have anything to do with them. Case in point, did you see the stuff with Kotaku and Square Enix?
No. No.
Oh, my friend.
Well, you know what? I take that back. I read when I was telling you about the Final Fantasy being banned in Saudi Arabia for its mature rating. It was on Kotaku, and it was the way it was written was meant to be written by someone who would have an issue with it. Or
that was the Nintendo part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Nintendo. Did you see the Nintendo one where they posted the Nazi plane?
Oh my god. No.
Yeah, and they're like, this is how I feel about being blacklisted by publishers for video games. And it showed like a picture of like a Japanese like Nazi plane.
That's awful.
A Kotaku writer, of course, is the one that posted that on Twitter. Imagine equating your struggles of not being able to get an early access copy of a video game to the horrors of World War II.
Yeah, that's insane.
Holy shit. Holy
insane.
shit. Like, what?
That's insane.
What is wrong with you? What is like, I don't need the level of privilege you have to come from to make that equation. I don't even know, dude. Like,
that is insane.
I don't think anybody's ever got their coffee wrong. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
What is wrong with these people? This is one of the reasons why like a lot of just gaming journalism in general, like people just aren't engaging with it anymore. Why would you watch IGN? Why would you listen or watch or read Kotaku? And even in some cases, even PC gamers going down that road.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I mean?
Because some of these, the clicks. They're after the clicks, man.
And the wild thing is that like all it's going to do is just ruin your brand.
Yeah.
And you know what? Good for them. Good for them. Ruin your brand, because we get more people as a result. Because in the end, what it is, and I would probably imagine this is probably true for a lot of the people that are here in chat right now. One of the reasons why you guys like indulging in this kind of content is because it's a couple people that just tell it like it is. You know what I mean? I think that's the best way to say it. We just we're just talking, saying, "Go, what are you doing?"
Giving our opinion.
Yeah, we're just saying it like it is. We're not sugarcoating anything. We're just giving our flat out opinion, and then on top of that, we're trying to be as truthful and as sincere as possible with the things that we talk about, and that's like one of the most important things that you can do. But the problem is, like, journalism as a whole has gotten away from that, and it's all because of clickbait. It's not because and like that's the most nefarious thing about it, is it's really just because they want ad rev.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Gamer Rant and Kotaku. Well, not all Kotaku, but like Gamer Rant, it's all like freelance, so they can do whatever they want to get the clickbaits off of what they're going to do, and they're just going to post it. It's almost like a what is that? A wiki for news articles. Like you can just put whatever you want in there.
At least I put my face to my opinions, even if they are shit.
Yep, even if they're bad, I'm still ugly. So,
well, I mean, you just need to make better use of your lighting. So anyway, continuing on. So, what about this? Let's talk about PlayStation.
Okay.
Or no. Wait, yeah, we'll do that.
We'll start there because it's going to lead into the
other one.
of the rest of it.
I'm good with that.
So it's rumored, and not like anybody would know that there's going to be a mid-gen refresh for the PlayStation. So like a PlayStation 5 Pro or whatever. Okay, and right now PlayStation is literally killing it. They are killing it in sales. The PS5 right now, at this point in its lifespan, versus the PS4 in its lifespan, is outselling the PS4. It's outpacing the PS4. So the question that it brings, and like I don't think anybody is going to have anything bad to say about it. Okay, like we could sit there and speculate price point and all of that, and it doesn't matter. Okay, people are either going to buy a PS5 or they're going to wait to get a PS5 Pro. Whatever, doesn't matter. That opens up the question of where does it go for, with all the bad news this week for Microsoft, where does that leave Microsoft when they have two separately different machines, where the lesser machine, and it's significantly lesser, it's a lesser machine, has the most market share for that company?
So, I mean, so what are you talking about here? So you don't want to talk about the actual PlayStation 5? You just
Yeah, I do. I do. No. I was just getting my thought out before I forgot it.
Oh,
but,
okay. I got
you.
We
can talk about the PS5.
You like changed direction on me there. I was like, wait a minute, what are we talking about?
Yeah. No, you're good.
So, oh man, I think this is actually a power move by PlayStation 5. Some people feel like it might be. Some people might feel like a new console generation. Like, I mean, this is like a mid-generation, right? This is
it's a mid-generation.
Yeah, it's just a refresh, as it would be, right? And here's the thing: the current consoles, as they stand, especially the PlayStation 5, is actually a really strong console.
Yep.
However, this is an opportunity for them to reset the narrative and put something new on the shelves, which will generate a bunch of interest, even though it's really probably not going to be that much more powerful than the system that they already have.
Yep.
And also, and actually, I'm going to give this to you one time. Misinformation made a really good point. This probably has a lot more to do with PSVR than it actually does with the power of current gen games on PlayStation 5.
Yep.
Because it stands, and this is somebody that's already played a lot of PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 exclusives, they play really, really well.
Yep. I think this console is going to be specifically to enhance ray tracing, to be honest with you, on the console.
Okay.
That's what it's going to be for. I think it's going to be a little bit beefier to be able to handle that without dropping too many frames and resolution. So, it does make sense.
I mean, we are seeing some struggling consoles kind of across the board. This has just been like a really weird console generation.
It has been.
I thought the last one was weird.
The last one was awful.
Well, for Xbox.
Xbox.
PlayStation 4 killed it.
Yeah, they killed it.
Yeah, PlayStation 4 was an incredible system last generation. This one's just been weird because like the games have been weird. And it's been across the board, man.
Yeah.
Like and here's the thing, we could say it's an Xbox problem, we could say it's a PlayStation problem, but it's just a games problem. Like just a lot of these, like it's not really the first party, it's a lot of third party titles that just can't seem to get a handle on things. And I don't know if it's the architecture of the systems, if it has to do with the chipsets. Because did you watch recently Jay's 2 Cents put out a video where he was talking about AMD really struggling?
Yes.
Like he actually regrets getting an AMD chipset instead of Intel. And I'm wondering if that's what it is, because both of these consoles are using AMD from what I understand, right?
Yeah, they are. Yep, they are.
So maybe that has something to do with the AMD architecture, and that's the reason why we're having all of these issues right now. Maybe if the new PlayStation 5 Pro comes out and it's not using that same architecture, maybe it won't have as many problems. I don't know.
I don't know. And like with the two consoles chipset, they were really banking on FSR, which is AMD's DLSS, and AMD has not been very successful with developing it as well as NVIDIA has with DLSS. So I think that has quite a bit to do with it as well. I mean, to be honest with you, they were banking on that. That's why their specs are what they are, is because they were banking on that to do the heavy lifting for them.
I'm going to throw this one to the chat, but like, how interested are you guys in having consoles that have disk drives? Like, how much of that is a necessity to you? And how often do you actually
me.
buy games that have discs? I love Jay. I've watched Jay for a long time. What's a disc drive do exactly? Yeah. So, and that's like one of the things that's kind of being brought up here specifically about the PlayStation 5 is like whether or not, like, if they put out a Pro, like, should they even put a disc drive in it? Because as it stands currently, what's a console? Even more true. One of the things that they've noticed is that disc sales are down big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yep. Before this generation, it was already at like 60% digital.
Yeah. It was already at 60%. Then add on top of that, you know, we had the old pandemic, and then that really took a steep hit to like to physical sales. Yeah. Digital sales soared when people had to be locked up in their houses. And then people just got used to it. That's just the way they interact with products now.
And disc drives on consoles, even last generation, it was more sold for the Blu-ray functionality, right? But now people just buy their movies or stream their movies digitally. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to even have physical Blu-rays anymore. I mean, my wife, I think we had a whole bunch, and she ended up just selling them all to like in a garage sale or something. But it's done. We're in a digital age.
Well, I mean, as it stands right now, I have Amazon on my TV. I can buy and watch the movie in the same day, and then it's gone, and I don't need to worry about it. I pay $3 or $4 to watch the movie, and then now I don't have to worry about having a disc laying around here that I'm probably never going to watch again. And if I do, it's going to be like one or more times since the time that I bought it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny that you think back, and it's like we're paying like $30-$40 for some of those Blu-rays.
Oh yeah.
It to literally sit on a shelf and never do anything. You'd watch it one or two times, and then that was it. So,
and if you have like kids like me, you'd go to open the disc when you do want to watch it, and it ain't in there. So you just got an empty case.
Yeah, then it's just gone. Yeah. So, so I would imagine that they're probably just going to go away from the disc drive. And think about how much space that saves, and how much more stuff that they can actually put in there that's actually worthwhile. Cooling, more memory.
And Sony has stated that they're going to be going away from the disc drive, and they're going to sell a disc drive separately. Like you can, like a external disc drive if you absolutely need one. So because they do understand there are people who play games that don't have internet, that don't have good enough internet to download these games and all that kind of stuff, which is still weird because almost every game you put in, you have to download it anyway.
Yeah, so. and that's where it kind of gets weird too, is that like, what is the road ahead for that? Because I can't imagine the next console generation having discs.
No, I don't see it at all.
I can't see it, dude. I just can't. I cannot see the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox.
They're gonna come up with another shit name, so whatever. It's gonna be something weird. I think they've stuck with the XS. It'll be something else. It'll be X something.
Xbox Reflection. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna name it, but yeah, no, I agree. I just don't see it. I just don't see it, especially with like PC gaming culture like growing, very quickly.
Well, it's about PC gaming is about to see another big spike because all the GPUs, all that hardware is starting to get affordable. Yeah, like GPU prices are constantly dropping, so
yeah,
people, it's going to pick up again.
Well, and it'll do it even more so when they end up like having the next, I don't know, the 50 series cards come out and stuff like that. Like I can't even see any reason to even have a 50 series or I can't even see a reason to have a 40 series right now.
No, I don't either.
So so here's the thing. I think this is going to be something that's going to be really, really good for PlayStation, specifically because they started off on the wrong foot at the start of the console war, right? At the start of this console generation, they started off on the wrong foot because they just couldn't get the production going. Now they have an opportunity to generate news, generate sales, and get a lot more people in on PlayStation. This also gives them the opportunity to drop the price of the other ones, right? Of the regular PS5. Yep. So with that, you're going to have a lot more people buying into it as well. And with these massive drop off in console sales from Xbox, that's where they're really going to start taking over. And as they're the only console that actually has really any games worthwhile to play, people are going to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we people buy these consoles to play games, and if you don't have games to play, I mean, there's no point. If you're gonna go right now, if you're gonna go buy an Xbox to play games, for Game Pass or whatever, just go buy a PC. You'll get to play the Xbox games and whatever other games are on there, and some PlayStation games. So I mean, it's.
So here's my point, and this is like I was talking to somebody about this recently, and I said, I wonder, like, if you were really like legitimately sitting back and asking the question to yourself, like, why would I buy an Xbox? Like, what games would I play? Like, what games does Xbox actually have that's worth me going to play right now if I wanted to sign up for Game Pass or whatever? And it's like the best game it has, Gears of War 5.
Yeah.
A game that's 4 years old?
Yeah.
And then you can say, well, Hi-Fi Rush was good. Is Hi-Fi Rush a game you buy a system for? No.
It is not.
It's a game that you played for like 8 or 12 hours and you beat it and then it's done and then you walk away from it. It's a good game. It's a cool game. It's not worth buying a console for. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's when Skyrim 6 and Starfield. Yeah, but Starfield's at the end of the year. But here's the thing. Even still, I can't see Starfield being a system seller by itself either. Most people will just. Here's the thing. If you're really forced to make the decision to buy a console, I would just build a fucking computer.
Yeah. Because
at least you're going to have access to more games and you still get to play all the same things that are coming out on Xbox anyway. And you have way more of a choice of library. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to spend more money, but yeah, or get a Quest. Stop. The VR druid.
So I started this segment of the podcast with the proposition, and since we're starting to lean into where we're going to be going next, what does this mean for Microsoft? Because they have two SKUs, one SKU being significantly a lesser hardware than the other, and the lesser hardware is the largest market share. PlayStation comes out with a PS5 Pro. Okay, what's Microsoft's options at this point?
Microsoft's options at this point is just to ride it out. So
it's going to be 2 generations of just riding it out for Microsoft.
They're going to have to. What are you going to do? Is the best road ahead to go, sorry guys, we can't develop games for the Xbox Series S anymore because it's not powerful enough to keep up with current generation games, and because these developers have to keep making games for this pseudo Xbox One X, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do? Do you outwardly come out and say, sorry, we ripped you guys off for that $300 console? No, you don't say that.
No, I'm not saying they can.
I know, but like, what do they do?
Yeah,
that's it. They ride it out. A console refresh? What are you going to give them? An Xbox Series SX? SFX?
Sex.
So it's one of those things where it's like there's really nothing they can do other than just ride it out. And here's the thing. I'm on the side of the Xbox guys, okay? The Xbox Series X is a great console. It is more than strong enough to be able to keep up with any of the current gen games that we have that are out right now. But the problem is that Xbox is forcing people to make those same games for the Series S.
Yep.
And as it stands, the Series S cannot handle the same things that the Series X can. So it's basically like developing it for 3 separate consoles because they're still making games for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and then people want to sit here and go, why do these ports suck? Why do these games keep coming out unfinished? Well, it's because all of these fucking game makers have been coming out for the game for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Xbox One X, and PC. Nintendo doesn't have any games. But you get what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of stuff. No wonder these guys are like, dude, there's so many different architectures that we're having to build this stuff for. No wonder the games are coming out unfinished, because once it reaches deadline and they have to finish their porting, they have to port it to 7 different things on top of all the different architectures for PC and stuff like that as well. Like, no shit. No shit.
Yeah. And like, PC architecture is a lot different than console architecture, and then when people throw that up, that, you know, well, the PC has so many SKUs, it doesn't. It's just it's open source. It's modular. They've been like, if you wanted to say, well, the 1080 is like the most common card. Okay, well, they've been developing on the 1080 for what? Almost like 12 years. You know what I mean? It's not like the 1080 is this new technology that they just don't know how to code for now. You know what I mean? So, and the 1080 is still a really, really decent card.
Oh, I want to bring this up too, by the way. We didn't mention this specifically, but the reason why that there's rumors of the next PlayStation 5, like a PS5 Pro, is because the dev kits have already been sent out.
Yeah. Sorry.
This isn't like, this is a rumor. No, it's like, no, legitimately, there's going to be a PS5 Pro because the dev kits have already been sent to developers. It just hasn't had an official release yet, but they'll probably give a release date. If I would imagine, they'll probably do it this summer, and then they will
release stuff all next year.
This year probably.
I don't think it'll be this year. I think it'll be next year.
We'll see.
But see, this is where Sony did a lot better job than Microsoft too at the beginning of this generation, as they got their dev kits out for the PS5, and developers weren't getting any development kits from Microsoft. So they were just given specs of what their console is going to be. They weren't given actual dev kits to tinker and play around on. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. So
yeah.
Let's finish. Let's get more into this.
Redfall. By the way, I hold on. We'll get into this just one second. I just wanted to answer something that was in chat that somebody had brought up. They said, "Why can't you have both?" And I'm not saying that you can't. I have all of them. I have a Switch. I have a PC. I have an Xbox Series S, and I have a PS5. I got them all. I got a problem. I can't, because I don't fucking play them all. But yeah, you can have them all. But at the same time, it's like, you know, if you had to make the choice to get a console, and you're like, I want to be able to play as many games as I can. Some people are going to say, oh, well, then get an Xbox, because then you'll have Game Pass. And isn't Game Pass great? And it's like, yeah, but what the fuck is there to play on it right now? Because everything that's on there is older games. And if it's not older games, then it's Xbox first party. And Xbox first party games have sucked for the last 5 years.
Oh, longer than that, sir.
Oh, I know. Yeah, there's a whole timeline on that kind of stuff. Well, I mean, no. Gears of War 5 still came out within the last 5 years.
Okay.
So unless you're going to say that one's shit too.
Well, I'm just saying outside of Gears, Forza, and Halo. And then
I would still include Halo, because Halo has sucked since 4.
Yeah, so let's just go Gears and Forza.
Gears and Forza, and the thing is the target audience and the people that actually enjoy playing Forza are, well, a relatively small crowd.
Yeah,
and I would argue as well that Forza is not a system seller.
I don't know, son. There are your hardcore, but it's not like a mass system seller. Yeah,
yeah, no.
It's not like the game.
You're not going to be winning the holiday season with Forza. Yeah, that's kind of the point. So go ahead.
Okay, so to your point, to add on to this, so Redfall comes out, and I'm going to actually, I know Tom's kind of being sarcastic in the Tom 909 is being sarcastic. If the devs only, because this is a major thing, if the devs only used all the tools for Xbox, though, because if you listen to Xbox centric podcasts, they say, well, they're not using all the tools. They're not using this. They're not using this. This is a first-party game, okay? They have the hardware, and if anybody watched the Phil Spencer, he was on Kind of Funny podcast, and they kind of took him to, they had him step to the plate and answer questions, and it was pretty rough. But it was also really telling on a lot of things. So Redfall is a bad game. It's a bad game structurally. It's not just because of bugs or whatever. It's just a bad game structurally. It's got very small enemy count. The AI and it's horrific. They did a poor job of utilizing or optimizing the Unreal 4 engine, which is super weird because the Coalition, outside of Epic Games, is probably the best studio to use Unreal and optimize it. If you look at Gears 5, Gears 5 is amazing in Unreal 4. There's no hitching. It runs smooth. So with the Redfall and the Unreal Engine bit of that, Phil Spencer said that they basically sent Coalition to Arcane a year too late. Right, they're already too far into the game to get it to work properly. Versus because the bones were bad. It's got bad bones. And this goes on to be more of what he was apologizing for was, just mismanagement of stuff. So they're just like super hands off on their studios. So after he says all this, and I get, he apologizes, and a lot of people, appreciate that he apologized for it. But if you're an Xbox gamer, you should be absolutely livid because they admitted it. Everybody for the last 5 years have been saying it. Just because they say sorry doesn't mean that it's going to fix the problem. It's not going to fix the problem. And now, knowing that they're two hands off, that makes me concerned for every game in development right now. What makes you think those games are going to be better? If they came up to this game too late, that means they're already too late on everything else. So
unless they have more focus on other games.
Oh, I get that they're going to have focus on. I mean, they even came out and said that Microsoft's been working with the Starfield team.
I would imagine a lot of people are probably going to agree with me on this, but the fact that Phil Spencer actually came to the plate means a lot. Because as it stands across the board, for the last 5+ years that we've been given a lot of broken, a lot of really shit-made games that were either just half-baked in development, or they came out as bad ports, or they have bad performance, or whatever it is, there hasn't been a single fucking developer that has stood up and said, we fucked up. Not a single one of them. Every single one of them have either tried to blame the gamers, like we've had with EA, and we've also had, they initially tried to do it with Redfall, where they were like, oh, well, there's just so many different PC architectures, and this and this and this. And then on top, and then you look at games like Forspoken and a few other games as well that we've had. There's a long list of games, and none of these developers have taken any responsibility. Any at all. But at least Phil Spencer stood up and said, we fucked this up. It's a fucked up game. In and out, through and through. We see that. We recognize that. We apologize to you. Now, they should be taking that a step further, and they should be giving people their money back. That's what they should be doing. But they're not, which I'm not really a big fan of that. But I will say this, that at least he is actually tanking the damage for this, and he's actually standing up for it and saying, hey, we messed up. We have to do better. And you and I had this conversation earlier where I said, and they brought it up that they have this team that they could have sent over there to help them with the game, and they didn't send them over there soon enough. And it's like, there should be a team like that rolling through these games all the time. They should be coming there monthly or bi-monthly or whatever to check on the game, see where it's at, see if they need any extra help, look for any problems early, try to figure out how they can fix any of those problems. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not the fact that even if they do fix all of the bugs and the performance issues with Redfall,
it's not going to make it.
It's just a bad fucking game. Who is it? This is the same situation that, don't get me wrong, there's actually some people that really like Forspoken, and it's actually getting an expansion. So, apparently it's sold well enough and is still staying popular enough that people actually enjoyed it, which is good for them. I'm happy people enjoyed it. But it's one of those things in which, even if they fix this game, nobody's going to want it, because who was it made for? Everything in it, what I think actually happened is that the developers for Redfall had a larger vision of something that they wanted to make. They had an idea for this grand looter shooter, something that you could play for a long time. They wanted to make this a constant game, because specifically they came out and said, hey, we plan on making Redfall this seasonal game where we're going to constantly update it, something similar to The Division and things like that. But what ended up happening is that they just never got that to fruition. Now, the problem is that there was nobody there to have oversight to say, this isn't finished. There's not enough ideas here that are fully fleshed out, and we need to stop. We either need to go, hey guys, you know what? This was a little bit too ambitious. We're not going to be able to fix this, and we're going to need to scrap it. And that should have happened a year ago. Or they go, we're going to need more time with this. There's a lot more going on here. We're just going to have to go out and say, either the company gives us more money and lets us continue development for another year or so, or we scrap the project, because eventually that's what ends up happening. You reach a point where the investment is either wasted or it's not. And actually, I was watching Asmon react to Yang Ya on this, and something that he brought up specifically was a really good example for whatever, I forgot what the name of the Blizzard game they were making, but it ended up becoming Overwatch. And it was a similar situation where Blizzard had this idea for this MMO and all these other things, but then eventually they ended up having to scrap all of it, and it at the very core of the game was Overwatch, and that was the game they ended up releasing. And it could have been a similar situation with Redfall, where maybe they should have just turned it into another Left 4 Dead style game or something like that. Something, you know what I mean? Where it's like, they tried to do too much, but they didn't do enough. And Project Titan, So, and that's the thing. There's not enough oversight, and this all, in my opinion, stems from their fuck up with Lionhead and the Fable series. They had 3 or 4 Fable games that they released where they tried to do it with fucking Kinect of all things, because they were trying to compete with Nintendo. You don't compete with Nintendo. You let Nintendo live in the area it lives, because they don't compete. Nintendo's not competing against PlayStation. They're not competing against Xbox. Nintendo competes against themselves. You don't try to fuck with them. You leave them to do their own thing. You focus on premium gaming. That's where they fucked up. And then they fucked up the entire Fable series because of it, and then nobody wanted to interact with it, and then they shut down the Fable studios.
And I'm not, and just for the audience, I'm not knocking Phil Spencer. I actually like Phil Spencer. I think he's done a decent job. I mean, you have to remember when the Xbox One came out, Don Matrick was in charge of the whole deal, and it was a crap show. They brought in Phil Spencer to try to fix it. But I got a lot of thought. I mean, he said one thing that kind of like rang true, and it's something I don't think they've ever said before. Is they need to put out first party quality. He even stopped to quality product, right? And that's the problem with Game Pass right now. I think Game Pass is literally, I mean, don't get me wrong, the games that are on there are some good games on there, but they're far and few between. It's kind of like shovelware almost. It's like back in the mid to late 90s, like shovelware games. So they're just all throwaway games. And to me, the only shining spot for Microsoft in its last financial deal was Game Pass actually grew by 3%, right? Console sales were down by 30%, but Game Pass grew by 3%.
What does that tell you?
Yeah. So, I mean, and we've talked about this, about Microsoft just going digital only, like period, like no hardware.
Yeah, I think that's what they plan on doing.
I think that's a near future.
People are probably going to disagree, but I genuinely do believe that they are not going to participate in the next generation of consoles. I think that they might. I think they, depending on how the rest of this generation goes, there is a future in which Xbox steps out of the console arena and becomes the Netflix of gaming.
Yeah, he said he cannot compete in hardware sales with Sony, and he knows they cannot compete with hardware sales. They're
exactly, and that's why specifically, if they're talking about that and they're admitting that kind of thing openly, that specifically is telling me one thing: that they don't plan on being in this market for very much longer. And the reason, and I'm not basing this off of just like baseless accusations or theories. No, if you look at the Game Awards that we had this year, what did they show? They showed Ninja playing Fortnite on a TV without an Xbox. They said, look at this, guys. Ninja's playing Fortnite on a TV, and there's no hardware needed. You guys are soon going to be able to play Fortnite anywhere that you want to, anytime that you want to, regardless if you have a console or not. They are far... you have to remember, where does Xbox come from? Xbox comes from a history of a company that has only ever done software sales. It is a software company that only ever started making its own hardware when it got into Xbox.
Yep. And they've actually, the last, what is it now? 10 years, the last 10 years, it's been their fault. And if you remember the 360 did well because they had good games. Okay, it had good third-party games, had good first-party games. The Xbox One did terrible because they didn't have any games. So the problem with them right now is with hardware-wise, they would sell more hardware if they had good quality games for someone to buy a system for, but they don't. And PlayStation keeps showing you what they're bringing. I'm telling you right now, Spider-Man 2 is going to sell a buttload of consoles. There are people buying a PS5 just to play Spider-Man 2. And they're putting up Spider-Man 2 against Starfield same month because they know.
Oh,
they know.
Yeah.
They know.
Well, and here's the thing. They know it's not going to sell consoles. Like, Starfield's not going to sell consoles. You know what it is going to sell? Game Pass subscriptions.
Spider-Man. It is going to sell some Game Pass subscriptions.
100%.
And to note what Phil said about, he was asked because he said he wants to be more transparent as a company about what a gamer should expect for their games. He's mad that they showed Redfall being played on a PC and not on a console. So he thinks, because he doesn't want their console fans to be second-class citizens, they want them to see exactly what they should be getting or expect on a console. Okay?
Right.
Then he was asked, so are we gonna get that type of transparency for Starfield? And he said yes. So I'm pretty sure, like, because he even brought up the 60 frames per second deal. He was mad about that. So I can almost guarantee you Starfield's gonna be at 30 frames per second, and they're gonna come out and they're gonna tell you that it's at 30 frames per second. You're gonna know this information beforehand. They gotta quit shooting themselves in the foot. Basically, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's just it's self-inflicted. It's sad coming from being a huge Xbox fan to seeing the state that it is, but the state that it is the reason that I got into PC gaming, because I got tired of the rat race. I got tired of the promises of, oh, it's going to be this and this, and it's not. They just couldn't show up.
You and I talked about this last night because so just to give chat like a little bit of background, Mark and I were playing Division 2 last night. And we were reminiscing because Division 2 was the first game Mark and I ever played on PC. I was not a PC gamer up until, just a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And the reason why I built a PC was because at the time, this was the Xbox One generation of games, I found that I just wasn't playing anything anymore. Like there was just no games that were really interesting me because there really wasn't any first-party games on Xbox that I was super interested in. And the first thing that I did is I went and I bought a PlayStation 3, a used one, just so I could play, or PlayStation 4, sorry, and played that for a while, just to get some new games to actually be able to play. Eventually, which led me down the road to saving money and building my own PC out of, by the way, this was like when I built my PC, and I have to remember this, by the way, is that when I bought my PC and built it, it was right before the pandemic hit, which was like the lowest PC prices you've ever seen in your life. Like, I mean, I got my GPU for like, I want to say like $300 or $400, and my CPU I think I got for like 120. Like, I paid like next to nothing to build my PC because my case was only like $30, and then all the rest of the parts that were in there are like super cheap as well, right? Like my board was like $50. I think I maybe spent $1,000 in total on building the PC. Obviously, you start adding in monitors and keyboards and stuff like that, and then that's when it starts to grow pretty quickly. But yeah, I built my first PC. The one that I have now is a new one, but my first one that I built pretty cheap.
Yeah, I wanna respond to Mickey in the comments. So he brought up that about Starfield. It didn't look 30 FPS in that Todd H video. All right, so me and Ian have talked about this off screen. We haven't talked about it on screen. Go back and watch that video, okay, of where those people are sitting on a couch and he's standing in front. He's standing away front, close to the camera, and they're playing Starfield. This is the one where people were zooming into the TV that they were showing, where it was looking like 60 frames per second. Tell me where the lighting is cast onto that television. And
Yeah,
why
none
you
of
can
that's
see
real.
it,
None of that's real.
and why you can see it 20 feet away from them.
Yeah, and this isn't like a conspiracy theory or anything like that. If you guys have ever tried to take video of your screen, it sure as the fuck doesn't show up like that.
No.
So that was not what. That's not. Yeah. I'm sorry, but that's just not the. That's just not the way.
It's a fake video.
And plus, on top of that, the thing is too is that you have to keep in mind there has been multiple interviews now with Todd where he's come out and said it's going to be 30 FPS.
I love 30 FPS.
And he says he loves it. He says he bathes in 30 FPS. He showers in it every morning.
Showers in my 30s.
Yeah. Yeah. He showers it in his 30s. And same thing. I'm going to be playing it on my PC anyway, so I don't care.
Don't get me, I'm looking so forward to this game.
But see, my question is do you think they are going to limit the performance of that game to make sure that it can match and look just the same on console, just to try to make the console bros happy?
What I think they're going to try to do is, here's what I think is going to end up happening, because like I've gone over the specs so many times, and I know this sounds like we're being negative about Microsoft and Xbox. We're not. We actually care. We want them to succeed. We want them to do good, but we're pointing out their missteps to see where they are now. I think because the S has 6 gigabytes of RAM less, and I'm not talking. I'm talking about. I think it's going to run at 30 frames on the S, and it's going to have a 45 frames performance mode on the X. That's going to be the in between. The S is probably going to push about 1080p to 720p on that game. How big it is, open world, big game, and the X is probably going to have a dynamic resolution. So I think your performance mode's probably going to hit 45 FPS. But yeah, they're gonna parry it. It's so stupid what they did.
Yeah,
it's so stupid how they did this. Oh.
Yeah, it probably sounded like a good idea at the time, especially because it was more realistic for them to be able to make more of them faster.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I at the end of the day, the fact that they released the Xbox Series S is something that really is kicking them down the road right now. And it's only going to get worse as time goes on.
And the people like Risk It, he was in here. I think he owns an S, and he'll quote, it does a lot of games at 120 FPS, and it does do a lot of games at 120 FPS, but they're last generation games. They're they're upscaled games. It's not the new generation of games.
Matt, so I'm gonna say this: you are absolutely 100,000% correct. The reason why consoles are still very dominant and always will be dominant is specifically because of cost, because because the average household cannot afford to buy a PC. Teenagers who are the ones that consume more video game content than anybody else can't save enough to build a PC. There's just a lot of cost. You have to have the space to actually be able to have the room to be able to have there's a lot that goes into it. That is why I'm doubling down on the fact that we are going to be going into cloud gaming within the next 10 years. At one point in time, what's more affordable than buying a console? Not having to buy one.
I say 5 years. I say 5 years.
We did the same. Here's the thing, and people can look at it and people can naysay it all they want, but at the end of the day, we already did it once before. We did it with VHS, going to DVD, going to Blu-ray, and now, when was the last time anybody ever bought a fucking Blu-ray or a disc? Or I haven't even had anything that reads a disc in my house for I don't even know how long. Yeah. You know what I mean? That medium's already gone. The only things that still read discs that we're still using are some consoles. And eventually it's just going to go, just because I know there's a lot of people that say, I don't want that because I want to resell my games and I want to resell my stuff and all that, which is fine. But when you're at one point in time, when you become the minority, that's what actually sells.
Yeah. Oh, it's not just that.
You know what I mean?
That thinking is gone from the other side, from the development side, because games on disc sold now. you have to download it and get an update from their servers for all the patches and all that stuff to get the game to actually download on your console. Once they shut those servers down, that disc is completely worthless. It's not a cartridge. It's not gonna retain its value. It's like it's done. Modern Warfare 2, you buy the newest one. You buy the disc. It had 4 megabytes of information on that disc. 4 megabytes of information on that disc. The rest of it was downloaded from their servers. So like it doesn't make sense financially to even be a collector anymore.
And here's oh man, and here's the thing, dude, is that like cloud gaming's working. Like Microsoft's Azure is like it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. There's
I
games.
played MLB The Show this weekend.
Yeah,
I'm just streaming it.
Yeah, you can just play shit on your phone. And honestly, like especially with the rise of mobile gaming, that's the way things are gonna go over time. It's gonna be tablets and it's gonna be cell phones, and you're just gonna be able to connect your controller straight to it and sit there with your little screen and play your game while you're sitting on the bus or the train or whatever it is, or driving in your driverless car in the year 2045, and smoking your fucking digital cigarettes, you fucking digital hipsters. And oh my god, but so you get what I'm saying though, right? Like that's this is the way the technology is going. Now here's my thing: Xbox is going to win.
Long term, yes.
In the long term, Xbox has made the right decisions for the future of Xbox. But right now, and for the foreseeable future, they're going to lose, because the thing is that they adopted really hard, really fast. And the technology just hasn't caught up yet. Yep. The desire for it isn't there yet, and the message isn't there yet either. Because you and I, as gamers, don't give a flying fuck about how games are delivered to us. We want a good game, and right now, Xbox is more Xbox is more consumed over the idea of how they're going to get games to you, not what games you're receiving.
Yep, and another reason they're going to win in the long run, they're going to be very successful, is because Sony is really stuck in their traditional ways of business in video game business. They're not going to. They want to have a console every 5 years or whatever it is. That's what they're going to want to do, and eventually, and like I said, it's already caught up to them, because now they're trying to get into the digital space. But Microsoft, because of the missteps that they had with the Xbox One, they were able to start doing that in 2016. Yeah. They've already got a 7-year start on them. You know what I mean? So it's pretty bad.
Oh, Tom, it's your first month anniversary as a channel member.
Hi, Tom.
First month anniversary.
Tom says Sony will win every battle and end up losing the war. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. By the way, selfless and shameless plug, if you guys would like to become channel members like Tom, you can. And you guys get access to some emotes and stuff like that. And actually, the more channel members I get, the more emotes that that YouTube allows me to put on here. I got 3 so far. I think they're all like they're all like
aliens or something.
No, it's Pepe, but he's Diablo instead.
Oh,
it's Pepe the Frog, but he's Diablo instead. So it's like I have like Monka-esque and stuff like that, but it's Diablo's face. It's pretty funny looking. But yeah. Anyway, so
what? How do
we become channel members, Ian? Well, thank you that you asked. Now that I can tell you, what you can do is that there should be a join button somewhere on your screen at this very moment. If you're already subscribed to this channel, you go down, click that join button. And actually, by the way, if for some odd reason that join button isn't working as it stands, you can actually open the description under this video below, and you will see a link. You can click that link, and it will take you directly to the join page. Yep. Join the channel now and support me directly so that I can buy coffee.
Yep. And then also the Discord. Join the Discord.
So I can afford Diablo IV.
Yeah. We actually got to talk to one of the community members last night, which was kind of nice. So, Mr. Autobot.
Yeah. So, by the way, and too, if for some odd reason you guys aren't in the Discord.
But why?
Yeah, but why? But why aren't
But
you in
why?
the Discord? Yeah, we're
But
in there all
why?
the time. We're chatting. We're having a good time, stuff like that. Mark and I have realized that the best thing that we can possibly do for you and for us is to make sure that we just start chatting, like in voice on the Discord. So if you guys ever want to join in voice on the Discord, you can and chat with us and play games with us and such. I think one of the things I'm gonna probably do in the future, am I allowed to say this? Is
Yes.
Is
Do
like
it.
do
Do
like
it.
like maybe I'll just say video watch nights
Ooh.
through Discord. No streaming.
Okay. Oh, like a members only type of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not even a members only thing. Just like chilling. Like let's watch a fucking movie together or something. I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, if Discord lets us, I know there's a lot of apps that won't allow it.
Oh, I don't know how that works. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll fuck around.
We'll
with it.
figure that out. We'll figure that out. I don't really know. But and the cat
See you,
pics.
Matt.
Yeah, there's tons of cat pics as well. Don't forget about that.
Plenty of cat pics. So anyway,
God.
we got off topic.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So you appreciate that Phil Spencer said what he said.
Yeah.
I appreciate that he come out and he took the question. You know, he answered the hard questions. He's not happy with how everything's going, and he is ultimately responsible for it. He is the head of Xbox. He is the head face of Xbox.
Yeah.
What Sony does better than they do, and we talked about this last night. What Sony does better than Microsoft is they have a development group that goes to each studio and helps. And I think that would help them out more than just getting more map booties. You know what I mean? More people to micromanage the deal of having, like, they could take some of the people from Coalition and start a deal and do, like, you know, share and learns on how to use Unreal 5. They've got, you know what I mean? Like, they could sit there and go through all this stuff. I just don't think they're so segregated because they're so hands off. Each studio is its own entity type deal that they're not helping themselves. And that's just like gross mismanagement. I don't even know
Tom's
how
gotta
you would
figure it
even.
out. Yeah. Netflix and chill. No, so
We're getting on Omegle later. Yeah.
So I brought this up before. There's a couple things that I think that's going wrong, and this is something that's actually not just Xbox's problem. It's something going wrong with the development of a lot of games, and I think that there is a way that they have project managed games for the last 25 years, and they've just always done the same thing, even though the workforce has evolved, even though the style that they work in, you know, with on-site, off-site work, you know, at-home work, stuff like that, also coming into the picture. The technology itself has evolved, and because of that, the deadlines that they have to finish these games has also changed because of it, and the scope of the games that they're trying to make has also changed because of it as well. I don't think those things are being taken into account, and they're still trying to develop games on a schedule that they've set for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, it's going to be 5 years. You guys got 5 years to develop the game. Year 4 comes and they're like, okay, guys, well, you need to throw this out because we have to reach the date. But that's it. And that's just the way that they've operated. They've operated on build as much as you possibly can, and then we'll find sections that we can remove and we'll make it DLC later. I think that's just kind of, since the digital age of games, I think that's the approach that they've made. You know, build out the game as big as you possibly can, and then we'll scale it back and make it DLC if any of that stuff is worthwhile. Otherwise, we'll just scale it back to make it playable, and then we'll put it out. I don't think they're entering in with a perfect vision of exactly what they want the game to be. So with some of these projects, I don't think this is something that is like blanketed across all games, but I want to say something similar to that, where there's a blanket approach to game design that a lot of these companies are coming at it with. However, their workers have changed and the process has changed. And because of that, they're not taking that into account, and they're not providing the support that they need. And if we're looking at Xbox in a bubble, their situation is the same as all these other developers. But the thing is that they actually have the tools to sort this out and fix it in real time. And that's just by having a group of people that are dedicated to go around and make sure all these teams are doing what they need to do.
I mean, Ninja Theory, someone brought up, well, they're bringing out, you know, their heavy hitters like Hellblade 2. Well, Ninja Theory, last year said that Microsoft was too hands off. So I don't know if that is changed since then, but it goes back to my statement. It makes me. I don't get me wrong. I know, like, everyone knows that for Bethesda and for Microsoft, Starfield has to hit. So they probably have been very involved with that. They've probably had Microsoft engineers over there helping them with the hardware and all that stuff. I get it. But the only other studio that I trust are the Coalition and Obsidian. Other than that, I mean, you brought this up. Look at what they did with Halo. Okay? They just allowed that to just run into the ground. So like all the other games, all the other smaller studios, I don't have any faith in those games coming out. I just don't.
Yeah.
Even that quadruple A studio that they built, the Initiative, it's lost and changed leadership like 3 times. You know what I mean? So
What games have they made?
They're working on Perfect Dark remake. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like I just don't have faith in it, and so. And when I say that, doesn't mean I think all their games are going to be bad. I'm just saying like it's going to take longer for them to get where Sony is with quality and game cadence out than what they had already projected. I mean,
Well,
13.
that's because Sony is going about it the right way. Sony doesn't own 1,000. I mean, I guess they actually technically own the same amount, don't they?
Yeah, they own quite a bit. Yeah.
But the difference is that Sony didn't buy as large of publishers and developers as Xbox did. Xbox went for these major brands, and they're still doing it right now, right? They're they're trying to pick up Activision Blizzard right now, just like they picked up ZeniMax before. And it's like, dude, you're picking up some massive brands that have a lot of studios that you're just not going to be able to have oversight over. Where Sony has been pretty tactical about making sure that they're picking up companies that they will actually be able to have considerable oversight and control over the games that they make. And as a result, Sony has had better first-party titles. Then on top of that, Sony goes out and pays for exclusivity.
Yep.
From companies that they know they can trust, like Square Enix,
Yep.
or FromSoft. But Xbox isn't doing that. Xbox isn't going out and paying for exclusivity. They're just buying the fucking companies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this and that started in the Xbox One era because they were buying exclusivity in the 360 era. That's why the 360 was so successful. They were buying exclusivity third-party games. And then once Phil Spencer took over in the Xbox One, and at that point, Xbox One started out so bad that Microsoft was considering canceling the whole division. Right, Phil Spencer convinced them to keep it open that he can get the ship righted.
Yeah.
And he came out and said that they are no longer going to do buying exclusivity. That's not the way they want to do business. Which is silly.
You can white knight all you want.
Yeah, I get it, but it's as you can see, it is not paid out for them.
No, it's not worked out. Don't get me wrong. Xbox, you still look like heroes.
Yeah.
But the bad boys are still getting all the girls.
Yeah. Yeah, Sony has been putting out bangers, and that's what makes me mad as an Xbox fan is I haven't been getting bangers. What's going to be the next Gears of War? Not like what's the next Gears of War what is going to be the next Gears of War IP? You understand what I'm saying? Like what's going to be the next Forza IP? Not Forza 9. I'm just saying, what is their next big new IP going to be?
Yeah, there's nothing that we know of in development outside of Starfield that's going to be like a major hit. And here's the thing too, people have to keep this in mind. Starfield is something that was in development before they purchased that company.
Yeah.
This wasn't specifically made and tailored for Xbox. This was a game that was planned on being out for all consoles. This is not a game specifically made for them. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think anything because I think eventually they're just not in a they're not in a us win mode situation. They're just in a I don't know. It's just all about Game Pass. It's the only thing they care about. They don't care about anything else. And as a result of that, their library has grown bland.
Yeah. Well, it's just easy money.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like they've made some really good acquisitions on certain titles and stuff like that. Specifically, getting like console support for V Rising and Valheim. Like that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge support for those developers and huge support for those studios. and they definitely have. What is the project? What is their program that they have that specifically looks for indie developers?
It's like indie. Oh God, dog it! Why would you do this to me?
I can't remember what it's called. It's like Project or something like that. I forgot. But anyway, like but they have a whole system that's out there specifically to look for these indie developers and pick up these games and then support them. I mean, it's actually the reason why we got Fortnite. They're the ones that help push that project along for Epic. Most of Epic's success is because of Microsoft's programs. But the problem is that like Xbox, I mean, I'll give it to them. Like, they got a good heart because they're doing it for the gamers. They're not doing it for themselves. But the problem is, as a result of it, they're going to end up losing their edge, and they're going to lose their edge in competition. And eventually, like, the problem is like, if you can't make yourself look dynamic enough or interesting enough for people to want to engage with, then they're not going to engage with any of your products over time. Because the problem is like, if nothing looks good on Game Pass, why am I going to have Game Pass? Yeah. It's going to be it's going to be like Netflix for me. I'll get a subscription to it and then fucking forget I even have it. Or I'll just get rid of it. And then when I do notice that I have it, I go, why the fuck do I have that? I'm not watching anything on Netflix right now. I haven't watched anything on Netflix in months. Wait a minute, do I have Netflix?
I mean, I've got casual people at work that have Game Pass that after Redfall came out and they saw how bad it was, they said, you know what, I'm going to turn off my Game Pass subscription and I'll turn it back on when Starfield comes out. Hopefully that's better.
I was talking about doing that the other day. I haven't played anything on Game Pass in probably 6 months. Maybe Grounded.
Yeah, Grounded. That was it. And Minecraft.
Oh, that's the only reason I can't get rid of it is Minecraft. Actually, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Never mind. I have to keep Game Pass forever now.
Yep, forever. Enjoy.
Especially because like for PC, like, oh man. Well, I guess I could probably just buy the Java edition, right?
Yeah, you could. So,
by the way, how do I not get a free realm because I have Game Pass? I should be getting a free realm because I have Game Pass. I think that's bullshit. Now I think about it.
Because
Phil Spencer.
Because that would be unfair competition. Because it's on everything. It's unfair that you get anything bonus for buying it on Xbox, right? And that.
But you already get you already get a bonus because you're getting it for free with Game Pass.
So
stupid. So stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad. I hope they right the ship, but I'm like they really need Starfield to do what what everyone's hoping it does. So
did you see that Hogwarts Legacy added an arachnophobia mode so that it'll remove all spiders from the game?
Really? I know they did that on Grounded.
For people that are afraid of spiders. Did they really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What do they replace it with?
I think they're just like blocky. It's weird.
I'll have to look at that. That's really interesting.
Yeah. They did. Speaking of which, they're right there. There's a developer that did it right. Okay.
Obsidian.
No. The Hogwarts, like the Wizarding World people. Avalanche. So they came out. They came out with the next gen version of Hogwarts, and then they delayed the PS4 and Xbox One versions. And when they finally came out, guess what? They worked pretty well. Instead of trying to do it all at once and then having this big jumbled mess, they focused on they cut their mill down, put out what was good, and then they worked on the other one. So
yeah,
that's kind of where it's going to go. And I think with Spider-Man 2, like PlayStation, it's only going to be on PS5. It's not going to be on PS4. I think it's a smart move for them. We need to start moving away from the older generation. I think that's going to help development too.
Dude, Gamer Rant makes some of the most clickbait bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Like, these guys can't even report on a single thing correctly. Gamer Rant says
ID at Xbox. There it is.
ID at Xbox. Thank you, Tomo. Gamer Rant says Redfall is the lowest rated Steam game of all time. It is in the top.
Shocking.
It is in the top 20 though. It's not number 1. Though.
So I made a test video of just to see what the PC settings are on it, and then I was going to do a first impressions type deal, and I probably played about 4 hours of the game, and I couldn't be bothered because who am I making that for? Who am I making that for?
Who's gonna fucking play it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I was like, well, I just wasted 4 hours of my life.
It's one of those things, and like I've seen this discussion pop up a little bit back and forth. But for most people, when it comes to these games, you have to keep in mind that first impressions matter for everything. And is Redfall going to be the good of No Man's Sky?
No.
Is going to be No Man's Sky, where it was this shit game that came out, but then they're going to work really diligently and hard to make it like one of the best games ever that everybody wants to play, and it's going to grow the community and all this stuff? No, because it never had that much hype around it to begin with anyway. Like, people weren't really that excited about the game because it doesn't have an audience.
It doesn't have the bones for it. Okay, so the looting, let's talk about Redfall. The looting in Redfall, I would say, is probably on par with Anthem. I mean, you were literally just getting
I dodged that bullet so hard.
You were literally just getting a different color version. I mean, variety color version of a gun.
Sick.
I mean, it is super.
We're Diablo players, so we like that shit anyway, right?
Yeah.
Just give me a different color of my fucking greatsword. That's all.
Stupid.
Give me a different color of my shoulder strap for my barbarian.
It's just, it's such a, I couldn't believe how bad of a game it is, and it's bad down to the core. And Phil Spitzer even said it. There's like, yes, they can continue to work on bugs, they can continue to try to get the engine to run better, but the creative concept of the game is flawed. It's fundamentally flawed.
It is.
And that's something they should have seen from the get-go when they acquired ZeniMax. You would think almost every studio, just like Starfield, with Bethesda proper, making these games, that they would go in and check to see the state of all these games and then make a decision on that, right?
I'm sorry, dude, but how does nobody go in and see Redfall and be like, yeah, this is good to ship?
Yeah.
This is good. Yeah, this will be good.
Yeah. This plays like ass. Let's ship it.
Yeah. Oh man, this looks really fun. Not really. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's just a really weird place that we've been in for a long time with gaming, and all I have to say is thank fucking God for Diablo 4.
Yeah, no shit.
Think about how much of a shit position we would be in. Also, I mean, don't get me wrong, like also Final Fantasy 16. I have a lot of faith that Final Fantasy 16 is going to be really good as well. But like,
that doesn't help everybody. That just helps PlayStation.
That just helps PlayStation, right? Yeah. But like, as a game that can help all gamers, regardless of what console they're playing on, or if they're playing on PC or whatever, thank God for Diablo 4. Otherwise, 2023 would be sleepy.
Yeah, it would be
sleepy. There's still like good stuff that's coming out, but nothing that's like holy. Like, I mean,
no. And
Hogwarts
Baldur,
Legacy was really cool. It was really cool at the time to play it, but that's a game that you're gonna play for like a few days. You're gonna put it away, and it's gonna be done. You know what I mean? It's not a hard game or a challenging game. It's just, you know, kind of fun to pick up and go away from it. And then on top of that, you had Star Rail is kind of fun. It's another pop off. I think it's probably gonna. I don't think it's gonna be as popular as Genshin Impact, but I think it's probably going to be similarly as popular. It's definitely going to have a crowd, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Baldur's Gate 3 is not going to be. It's not a game for everyone. Don't get me wrong. I'm super excited for it, but it's not a game for everyone. It's not like it's going to be. You know what I mean? It's not going to be Diablo 4 sales wise. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's not even going to be close.
So I'm going to be this guy, Darkstorm.
Oh my God, he said something about Final Fantasy, didn't he?
I'm going to be this guy. All right. Ye of little faith, know nothing about the god that be Yoshi P. Final Fantasy XIV is fucking incredible. It's incredible. Their storytelling, everything. It's incredible. Their storytelling and music are all the same people. All the same writers are coming from Final Fantasy XIV. The combat director that they had for Devil May Cry 5, like the team that they have behind Final Fantasy 16 is bonkers. It's literally a team of all-stars. This isn't the team. The people that made Final Fantasy 15 are the people that made Forspoken. And now that studio doesn't exist anymore. So none of those guys have their hands on Final Fantasy 16. PlayStation, or it's not PlayStation, but Square Enix recognized that Final Fantasy was going down the wrong path, and they recognized that Final Fantasy needed to go in a new direction, and they needed Final Fantasy to be a household name that people wanted, something that would sell consoles, sell boxes, sell artwork, sell stuff. Get Final Fantasy back on the map. It can't just be Final Fantasy XIV towing the line. They have to have something else, and because of that, they grabbed the people that they knew for a fact would keep it going, people that could match the heat and the fire of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that's why they brought those guys. And it's gonna be good. It's just like I'll put my name on that. Like, I know for a fact that game is gonna be bomb.
Biggity, no doubt.
Yeah. Business unit, thank you. It's just whatever. You would call them whatever you want. You can call them whatever you want. They make games.
They don't make video games. They make gaming experiences.
Yeah,
okay?
they make digital stories, visual stories, visual light novels. Oh my god. So, which by the way, I'm really enjoying Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've been streaming that. Chat. I know some of you guys have shown up to watch, but if some of you other guys haven't, check out throughout the week. I've been streaming it. There's 2 streams of it already up, 2 episodes. I think one's like 2 hours, one's like 3 hours. Making pretty good progress. Steam rolling. I'm an absolute unit at the game. I'm just saying that right now. Probably if I had to guess, second best player in the world.
Second to only yourself.
Yeah, well, obviously, like second to me on a weekend.
Yeah.
I hope they don't mess up Fable.
You and me both, brother. But here's the thing: Playground Games is a good studio for making driving games using Forza Tech. Let's give them an RPG, open world RPG. Do you see what I'm saying? That seems weird, and I'm hoping that's one of those franchises that they're actually paying attention to. Because if they don't, I think we're going to have another Redfall. I just do.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. Well, I think we've gone 2 hours into the podcast. I think this is a really good opportunity for us to take any questions or anything that you guys have before we kind of close out for the day. Mark has to work tonight.
I do. I have to work nights this week.
One of his asshole coworkers took some fucking vacation time.
Yeah.
Could you guys imagine the balls on that guy taking vacation?
Yeah. What a loser.
Who does he think he is?
Wanting to spend time with his kid. Get out of here. Gross.
My birthday's next weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome to 40, buddy.
So shut the fuck up. You still got a few years before you can say that.
Sorry.
By the way, that means when you guys see me streaming next weekend, that means you have to come. I mean, show up.
Okay.
You guys have to show up. You guys have to show up. Yeah. Don't make it weird.
I didn't make it weird.
I just want you guys to come.
That was a hard stop. That was a hard stop.
I'm not at home, so I don't have like a bunch of people to like celebrate my birthday with. So I want to celebrate my birthday with you guys. So if you guys could come and sing happy birthday to me in chat and tell me that you love me and that I matter and my opinions are good, it would be great.
Yes, he has to wear a birthday hat the entire stream.
I'll wear a cowboy hat.
Like, okay, you said. Okay. He's gonna be walking around with chaps, back just dancing.
Today's my birthday. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna play. I'll play Final Fantasy on stream. I'm straight up gonna play some Division this week. I'm just gonna level a new character. Did you see there was a hardcore mode?
I did. Fuck you.
What, are you scared? Are you scared? The funny thing is that Division's one of those games you will just get fucking deleted out of nowhere sometimes. You're like, oh, I turned the wrong way. I turned the wrong way.
Stupid robot sniper dogs.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. That is true.
They hit like a Mack truck.
It will rage you. Yeah, I know. I figured as much. I don't know if I want to take it on or not. Honestly, I mean, like, are you gonna really have any struggles from like the initial leveling experience up to like level 30 or max level?
Just getting. I think so. Just in. Well, it depends on what difficulty you set the game to. Like you still have world tiers.
Am I playing what tonight is the question. That's also a really good question. I don't know if I want to play Final Fantasy VII or if I just kind of want to vibe out and play The Division.
Yeah.
I kind of want to vibe out and just play Division.
Yeah, Tom 909. Yeah, the classic Fable British humor. I don't know if it would go over well in the current social atmosphere. Starting
classes for Diablo IV, Rogue. It might be Barbarian. It's a hard choice. So boring. You're gonna be so weak.
You're weak.
Oh my god, did you guys see what the developers came out and said this week about class balancing?
No.
I forgot all about this. So they mentioned the builds in Diablo that people had came up with in the beta for Diablo, and they're talking about it. They're talking about, oh, well, you know, yeah, there was an instance in which people had a pretty powerful build for the Necromancer, and I'm sorry for those people, but like maybe this should probably be a warning for people that want to manipulate classes like that in the future. That we will nerf that stuff pretty hard.
I don't like that.
And I'm like, I don't like that fucking language, dog. Now, mind you, the guy that said this is the class designer. So he's the one that it's like, he's the reason
you think you want this.
He's the reason it happened because he's the one that accidentally designed for something like that to happen. So he realized that the community duped him and made the Necromancer unkillable. He's like, I'm not that fucking stupid. So he probably thought it was like he probably felt like it was a dig on him, you know what I mean? Because the players figured out how to make the Necromancer unkillable, and he's just like, these motherfuckers, how dare they do that to my classes that I made?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do some work.
But it's funny that people would say that, because the funny thing is, it's like, that's exactly what the name of the fucking game is, dog. It's to figure out what the strongest build is, the strongest class, how powerful I can make my character. It was just really weird to hear him say, it's a lesson for you that think you can manipulate characters in the future. And it's like, okay, so you're going to say that when we get like strong characters, you're just going to fucking nerf us? You fucking better not. They're fucking chill, dog.
No, I mean, that's the conversation that we had about meta.
I'm just gonna say, I don't fucking live far from Irvine. All right, Blizzard, don't fuck with my rogue.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the problem with meta builds. I mean, that's what's gonna end up happening is they're gonna end up nerfing, your favorite character into the piss because of meta build. So, true. Yeah, he's gonna ban you.
Who?
The guy you're talking about. the guy you just gave a nonchalant death threat to.
See, this is the reason I'm going to tell you right. So I'm going to tell you guys about this. Mark sent me some job openings, and one of the job openings is a community manager for Diablo 4. They're looking for another community manager for Diablo 4, right? And I have currently. What the fuck was that?
That was Drake raging in there.
Did he make a hardcore character?
I don't know.
Holy shit. So Mark sent me a link for Diablo 4. Blizzard is looking for another community manager. So I was like, oh yeah, that'd be interesting. And I'm like, then I thought about it, and I thought about the content that I make, and I'm like, these guys are never gonna fucking hire me. They'd be like, and I have the degree for it. I could totally I'm super qualified, but I've said some questionable things.
No, I think don't get me wrong, community managers are the ones who are serving the Kool-Aid. They are. They're the ones serving the Kool-Aid, but I respect the ones that are open and honest about stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't see that as a negative. I'm not trying to talk you into the job or anything. I'm just
but
saying.
I'm also thinking about like how great it would be to trigger a lot of the people that don't like my content, and then they find out I become the community manager for Diablo 4, and I'm like, hello, bitches.
Oh my god.
Druid, remove it from the game. No, I'm kidding. Oh,
yeah.
man.
So Server Slam is not this week, but next weekend. Not this weekend, but the next weekend.
Did you see all the people pissed off that they used the fucking Looney Tunes movie with Michael Jordan?
Space Jam
soundtrack for the Server Slam? Did you see that?
No.
They put out a video for the Server Slam, and they used Space Jam as the background music, and people were like, hold on, I gotta do this better. Return to darkness, huh? They were so fucking mad. They were so mad. They're like, I thought this was gonna be more mature. I thought this was gonna be more dark and evil, just like Diablo 2. I guess not. It's like so
those people, I think
they're not allowed to have fun.
Like Diablo developers need to go through, find out who these people are in the game, and literally insert that as their background music the entire time they play. Like it's nothing but Space Jam, no matter where they go. They go in a dungeon, it's the Space Jam. That's what they're gonna hear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what they should do.
That'd be so sick. Actually, I'd be fucking getting it. You know what I mean? You want to slam? So take me to the jam. Like, yeah. Oh man!
Congratulations, Tom. 909.
What about him?
Just got a
coordinator role at the most progressive organization in our city. You boys have seen what I have to say. What I say daily. Oh Lord. Oh boy. Ooh. Anyway, so I like doing these like chill sessions at the end where we just talk to chat and just vibe for a minute.
Yeah,
it's fun.
You know what is good? What is good that Playhouse is doing Fable is because they are located in the UK, so they should be able to keep some of the snarkiness of the game for Fable. Should be all right.
I hope so.
Playhouse. What is wrong with me? Playground. I know, right?
Like Pee-wee's?
Like Pee-wee's. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there are. Xbox Showcase is coming up June 11th. So that's
the Starfield one is this summer, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's they're doing.
I like how the day after or 2 days after all the Redfall drama, they were like, Starfield, it's still coming out.
Well, it's not even that. Like
guys.
How like Starfield was bombing in reviews like that day. They were like, hey guys, come buy this new controller. We just came out with a new controller. Isn't that cool?
Don't look over there. Starfield.
You didn't even play it, did you? Starfield.
Redfall.
Redfall. Did I say Starfield?
No. Yeah, you did. You didn't play
Sorry.
Starfield? No,
I didn't play Starfield yet. God,
they didn't send me the early access copy yet. No, I'm not gonna. Why the fuck would I play it?
It's bad.
Exactly. Why would I play a bad game?
Just to see how bad it is.
I could never be bored enough to play a bad game. I would just go back to playing Terraria.
Yeah, the Starfield is the same day as the Xbox event.
Man, I need to stop, dude. I'm already having the ADHD right now, where I'm like I kind of want to go back and play World of Warcraft. Just fucking play something. Just play something and stick with it.
Just finish it. Just finish it. Finish it. Did you finish Resident Evil? Okay. All right. All right. What about Dead Space? Did you finish that one? Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the end of the show. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have a lot of different stuff on the plate. I mean, some of that stuff. Here's the thing, though. I'm definitely one of those people that like I'll come around to it eventually, and then I'll just knock it the fuck out.
Yeah. And for sure, Secret
Not
Role,
every game-
it is a bad game. It's
Not
shallow.
every game can do what was the last game I sat down and then just played?
Probably Elden Ring until you got
Zelda.
Where did that Zelda? Yeah, there you go.
Remember? I
Yeah,
didn't even
Breath
touch
of the
my
Wiz
PC.
Wild. Yeah.
I didn't touch my PC. I played Zelda from start to finish, and then I was done.
I don't agree with you, Misinformation. I don't think single player games are boring.
No. All right, so guys, that is the end of the show for the day. Thank you guys for showing up. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay good. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I hope you guys have a fantastic week next week. Finish and she'll love you. Dude, for a second there, I thought that said finish and she'll love your mom, and I was like, wait, what?
What kind of prawn do you watch?
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for showing. Thank you guys for coming. I hope to see you guys next Sunday for our next podcast. It'll be my birthday podcast. And then there's gonna be streams next week. I finish my ultimate raid in Final Fantasy next week. I will clear or not, it's done, and then I get to stream more during the week, which is gonna be fantastic. I'm gonna have more time to make videos and more time to stream, which will be super cool. More time to finish games.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I have a video that I'm working on. Next week might actually be my first week in a long time that I don't have a video that comes out. Actually, the next 2 weeks very well could be. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I have a video that I'm working on that's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be it's a completely different style. It's something I've never done anything like this before. It'll be interesting. A lot of production time going to go into this next video I'm working on. So we'll see how it turns out. But I'm gonna take a break from my trying to push out content like crazy. So outside of that, Mark, you got anything?
No. We'll be working. Like I said, I'm working nights this week. I'm gonna try to put some different concepts for the show together for the podcast part of it next week. I think I'm already kind of got an idea of what I want to do. It's going to be one of those abstracts, kind of like how we think about this in gaming in general, not just a specific game. So
I'm sorry I didn't even mention this. Next weekend we're service slamming, so
yeah.
we're streaming Diablo all weekend.
Yeah, we are. So
yeah,
I'll probably stream it in the Discord.
Okay.
While you're streaming there, so
okay.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go take a nap because I gotta go to work in 3 hours.
All right.
So
I'll see you in the jam.
Space Jam.
All right. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for stopping by. Catch you guys next time.